This is Atomic Shinobi, and today I'm going to narrate a movie on what if neglected Naruto was trained by a dragon god. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Now, wasting no time, let's start the story.
Demons were once just stories used to scare kids into being good little boys and girls. They were just legend that were passed down from generation to generation. Even to this day, the day where shinobi run the world will hear the stories of demons or yokai. There are even some paintings of many demons like kitsune, dog yokai, oni, wolf yokai and dragons. However, they aren't the only thing from legends. There are ghosts, spirits, specters, and some gods or goddess. They all disappear from history and only trace of them are in legends. The question is, were they real? Is the legends true? Can there be demons out there? The answer is that they are very much real. The problem is that they don't show themselves to humanity anymore. They live in hiding. However, there are the exceptions. The exceptions are the nine-tailed beasts. They are one-tailed tanuki, shukaku, two-tailed bakaneko, matabi, three-tailed turtle, isobu, four-tailed monkey king, Son Goku, five-tailed dolphin horse hybrid, kakuo, six-tailed slug, Seiken, seven-tailed beetle, Shomei, eight-tailed giant ox, Yuki, nine-tailed kitsune, Kurama. Finally, the 10-tailed that disappeared. Shinobi hunted down these 10-tailed beasts, known as yokai, because of their reputation for having demonic power. A lot of people thought they were mindless demons out to ruin the world. How incorrect they are. All 9 became Jinchurikis, the power of a human sacrifice, after being sealed into humans by Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage of Konoha. Hashirama imprisoned them because he thought they were creatures designed to wipe out humanity. How mistaken he was. The 9 demons were just going about their lives like any other demon. The distinction is that they became the center of the ninja world after they became overly strong. Demons, who were once joyful and proud, are now human slaves. These 9's strength pushed humanity even deeper into conflict. Hashirama hoped that they would be put to good use. What hypocrisy! A man who readily enslaves others while preaching for peace. All other demons stay hidden because they want to interfere with human affairs. Naturally, one day something drew them out of the shadows. People. Some people have a long history of fighting demons and other monsters. Monks, demon hunters, priests, and priestesses are a few examples. These people lived their entire lives fighting demons and sticking to their own path. Naturally, a large number of people, including shinobi, did not believe in demons or the occupation of these individuals. They continued to deny their existence despite the existence of the 9-tailed beast, or bijus. Despite this, these individuals continued to defend people against demons. When chakra was first made available to people, it gained the ability to battle both demons and other people. Hagoromo Otsutsuki was the one who first introduced chakra. The Sage of the Sixth Path is a more popular name. He showed people how powerful it is to create ninshu by fusing elements of the spiritual and the physical. Originally intended for mutual understanding, ninshu was perverted into a weapon for combat, ninjutsu. He introduced humanity to a new kind of warfare on that day. That day will always be a struggle for humanity. On the demon side, not much has changed, though. They still fight occasionally and keep to themselves. Demons were able to find peace if you look at both species. It's funny that creatures that people consider to be the most evil thing on the planet, demons, coexist peacefully. But nothing endures. October 10th, 5 years after the Kyuubi attack. 5 years have passed since the Kyuubi tried and failed to break out of his unfair incarceration. He was resealed, but worse, his soul and power were split apart. Humans are stupid. They had no idea what they had done. Minato is regarded as a once-a century genius. He is a fool for someone who receives so much praise. The power of any biju was never divided for a reason. When a biju's power is divided, it becomes impossible for humans to control. The power alone will gradually kill their host, even with the best training. When sealed, all biju maintain control over their power. However, Minato removed that limiter, putting his wife and daughter in danger. Naturally, Naruto would be the only one laughing at them from inside the Kyuubi. Outside of Konoha, the village hidden in the leaf, we have seen a bloodied redhead. On October 10th, the Kyuubi attempted to flee and killed a large number of Konoha residents. Many commended Minato for his abilities and Kushina and Mito for being heroes for possessing the Kyuubi's power when he revealed the truth about that night. Regretfully, Naruto was thought to be the reincarnation of the Kyuubi. The primary cause is that Naruto's chakra network was destroyed during the sealing. because Naruto and the Kyuubi both lost their chakra, Yuki. Many people thought Naruto was the Kyuubi. They will constantly despise and pursue Naruto. His mother, Kushina, and the fourth Hokage, Minato, refused to believe him, so they ended up getting away with it. They would say things like, "Stop hurting yourself to get attention," despite all of his wounds. They would concentrate on Mito after realizing that Naruto was useless due to his lack of chakra. Naruto would constantly be left on his own to take care of himself and feed himself because they weren't training her yet and claimed that Mito needs all the attention for training. When they forgot to feed him, he would typically go out and eat from the trash, or when he was locked out of the house, he would search for a safe place to sleep. Occasionally a good old man would bring him home for hot food and a warm bed. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, is this old-timer. Seeing his successor disregard his only son to the extent that he could die at any moment when he first discovered him made him very sad. He would attempt to bring up this issue whenever he had the chance, but Minato would eventually change the subject from Naruto to Mito. Something that made him even more depressed because he understood why. Flashback. A month had passed since the Kyuubi attack when we found ourselves in the Hokage's office, Minato completing paperwork. Then, poof. A man with two shoulder-length bangs framing his face and spiky white hair that he typically ties back into a ponytail is now shown to us. He is dressed in a green short shirt kimono and matching pants, with mesh armor showing at his ankles and wrists underneath. In addition, he sports a red haori with two yellow circles on either side, handguards, a black belt, and traditional Japanese wooden sandals. On his back rests a large scroll. This man is Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, Minato's sensei, among the fabled Sannin. Minato. The elder Toad told me that the prophecy changed. What? Exclaimed Minato. He thought he was the child of prophecy, the one who would bring about world peace. He said, a child loved by a god. The child will be born on a dreadful night. A night full of pain and destruction. The child will receive the power of 9 and use it to bring peace. Jiraiya recited what the elder had said. Minato inquired, so you think that the child is Mito? Yes. She was born on a dreadful night, the Kyuubi's attack, and received the power of 9, the Kyuubi. I'm sure that the sage of the sixth path love all that wield chakra, so that is also covered. We need to make sure that she gets everything to save the world, Jiraiya said. Because the sage of the sixth path gave them chakra, the shinobi regard him as their god. Jiraiya thinks he only loves people with chakra because some people didn't get it. I agree, Minato said after considering it for a while. I will convince Kushina. Flashback end. Since then, both parents have committed to concentrating on Mito in the hopes that she will save the world. How foolish they were to decide that. Our redhead, Naruto, whispered, damn villager. Why can't they leave me alone? They're idiots. From inside the seal, the Kyuubi said, that's why, Kit. I say that now is the time to get out of this desolate village. Nobody is here to bring you back, and the majority are back to celebrate your sister's birthday and my incarceration. When the Kyuubi said, sister, he did so with venom. Just leave here, Kit. The Namikazes appalled him. A kitsune yukai that respects a family man is the Kyuubi. As a matter of fact, Hashirama prevented him from seeing his own children. Kurama, thank you. I will, Naruto retorted with a thought. Just move quickly, Kit. I don't want this village to continue using you. Because of the weak seal that Minato applied to Naruto, the Kyuubi or Kurama had unrestricted access to speak with his host whenever he pleased. Kurama was appalled by Naruto's treatment and would do everything in his power to assist him. He would narrate tales of demons and their comparatively tranquil existence. As a young kitsune, Kurama would pull many practical jokes, which would always make Naruto laugh and enjoy his story. The two grew close. To escape the village that wanted him dead, Naruto would wander aimlessly into the forest. You won't last long if you don't find some food and a place to rest quickly. I don't care. I simply must leave that location, he answered. Naruto would run until he was unable to run any further. He simply collapsed on an open failure, exhausted, and went to sleep, but he wasn't by himself. Oh no, Kit. We're dead now. Kurama grumbled as he saw a legendary beast standing in front of Naruto after looking through the seal. Naruto caught the beast's attention. As he examined Naruto, the creature remarked, so, what do you have here? A little human. Dragon. Stay away from my host, Kurama yelled, attempting to keep Naruto safe. Oh. A demon sealed inside a human. That is rare. So tell me, who you are? The dragon responded. I am the 9-tailed fox, Kurama. Naruto is my host. In an attempt to gain sympathy for the dragon, Kurama remarked, a child who was betrayed by his own family. I have heard of you. One of the strongest of your kind from a century ago. Show me this child's memory, so I may judge him, the dragon said. Kurama showed the dragon illusions of Naruto's past using one of his fox magics. After learning about Naruto's past, the dragon declared, the child has suffered greatly under his own kin. So be it, I shall take him as my own. Kurama was greatly surprised. Human children were rarely adopted by dragons. When they do, they typically teach them Dragon Slayer magic, which makes them one of the world's most formidable fighters. Dragons are one of the strongest races on Earth, if not the strongest, but Dragon Slayer magic was made to work against them. Dragons are more susceptible to the effects of the magic than any other race, but it will still be strong against them. Could you tell me who my host is? Kurama inquired courteously. Although he is stronger than a typical dragon and is aware of their power, his current state prevents him from facing them. Ha! I'm the dragon god, exclaimed the dragon. Bahamut. Sama. 7 years later, 7 years have passed since Bahamut took Naruto under his wing and raised him as his own son. Naruto had his best years during those years. At last, he had a father who cared for him and kept him safe. The Uchiha leaders heard that the dragon god had adopted a human child. To get even with Bahamut, some attempted to murder Naruto. Bahamut, of course, dealt with them. He began training to become a dragon slayer when he was 7 years old. In order for Naruto to learn dragon slayer magic, they are able to construct a magic container for him with the assistance of Kurama and his divine power. Nevertheless, he learned 9 distinct types of dragon slayer magic rather than just one element. He had to be the strongest because he was Bahamut's son. Although the power ought to be overwhelming, Kurama assisted him in controlling it. Bahamut approached his son's training field and remarked, Naruto, my boy, it is time. With a dejected smile, Naruto said, so it's time for me to leave. Don't cry, my boy. I will see you again one day, but there is a time where the hatchling will leave the nest. It is your time. He holds back his tears and says, I know. He went up to give him a hug and said, I'm still going to miss you. He raises his other arm to pat him on the back with one of his claws and says, I will miss you, my boy. A brilliant shine begins to gradually fall into Naruto's hand as he says, this will be my final gift for you. He looked at the item and asked, what is it? It appears to be a blade's hilt. Say, restoration. Okay. Restoration, was said, and the hilt then extended to reveal a fully extended sword. It has a gold design and is shaped like a long sword. Wow! Naruto exclaimed as he gazed at it. I call it a heaven's blade due to the power and how it looked. It was made from one of my fangs. I had it designed, so only you can use it. It contains your DNA and you can add others' DNA to the sword so they can use it. It has the power to create steel threads that you can use for defensive or offensive purposes. You can also call for it and it will return to you, he said while smiling broadly until he became grave. The last purpose of it is to prevent you to turning into a dragon. If you chose to take on that dragon formation, there will be no going back. So keep that in mind. Receiving a nod from Naruto. Be careful when you are out there. I will too. San, he exclaimed, grinning like a fox. As he started to flap his wing and take off, Bahamut exclaimed, goodbye son, until we meet again. I give you the surname of Pendragon. Farewell Naruto Pendragon. With a single tear in his eye, he whispered to himself, until we meet again. Don't be concerned, kid, I'm still with you. You're right. It's time to see the world for myself, he exclaimed as he put on his trench coat. He is dressed similarly to Nero from Devil May Cry. Yosh! Let's go! Naruto yelled into the air before taking off running. And flee! And flee! He ran for an hour without stopping. His endurance is amazing. Where are we heading? I don't know. So we're running in circles? Yeah. You're a fool. Yup. Naruto simply continued to wander in search of a companion. After being adopted by Bahamut, he lived his entire life in the cave and the surrounding forest. He truly didn't know where he was. He simply followed his nose for the next few days. The Inuzuka and their dogs would be embarrassed by his nose as a dragon slayer. He followed the scent of fire and fur. The trail led Naruto to a deserted battlefield. As he inspected the damage, he remarked, it appears that one person used fire, and the other used lightning. Could it be shinobi that fought here? That's foxfire, not fire. There's some Yuki in the lightning. There was a recent battle here between a kitsune and a thunder demon. Look for the kitsune. Time to check in on my relatives. There is a problem. By the smell, There is a dead kitsune being dragged off by a thunder demon and another trail of a kitsune heading off to another direction. Naruto stated, driving Kurama to rage. Thunder demons. Damn them. Do they believe they can murder members of my family and get away with it? Kid, go after those bastards. Naruto tried to calm the irate kitsune by saying, but Kurama, the other one is alive and may need help. We should find the living kitsune first. Grr. Alright, locate my remaining relatives, after that, we'll go find them. Naruto gave a nod and proceeded into the woods. He kept going until he heard a cry coming from behind a tree. A dejected child exclaimed, sniff. Sniff. Why do they have to kill my dad? Then, in a low voice, Naruto approaches the weeping child. The child is small, with green eyes, brown, auburn hair, and a fluffy, cream-colored tail. He is dressed in a tan vest with a thin black belt, blue pants, and a turquoise shirt with leaf patterns. He doesn't wear shoes because his feet resemble a fox's. He wears his hair up in a turquoise bow in a small ponytail. He has pointed, narrow ears. Hi, Kurama. It's a kid kitsune. Wrong kid. Go lift his spirits. Softly, Naruto said, hey there. Ah, kitsune, the child, jumped up in terror and began to scale the tree to safety. Naruto raised his hand to indicate that he would not harm him, saying, hey, I'm not here to hurt you. The kitsune wiped away his tears and exclaimed, sniff. How'd I know that? You are human. Dad always say to never trust humans. Naruto questioned, would you trust another kitsune? The child responded, of course, but you're not a kitsune. As dramatic as he could manage, Naruto uttered, that is true, but I do have a kitsune with me. According to him, he was famous. You might have heard of him. His name is Kurama. Kurama. Oh, that Kurama. The one that achieved 9 tails, but was captured by humans, he exclaimed, startled by the memories of the fabled kitsune his father had told him. As he lifted his shirt to reveal the seal on his stomach, Naruto remarked, yeah. Long story short, I was born on the night he escaped, but was sealed into me. We have been friends since I was a kid. The child looked closely at the seal but didn't understand it. I need more proof, the child insisted. He extended his hand for the child to grasp, saying, hold my hand and I will take you into my mind and show you. The child held Naruto's hand slowly and said, fine, I will trust you for now. The mindscape of Naruto. With a gesture toward the surrounding open forest, Naruto said, welcome to my mind. The child exclaims, wow, as he looks around in wonder. A kitsune would adore living in that forest. He insisted, now where is Kurama? Sama. Kurama exclaimed, I'm over here kid, from the neighboring lake. They both went to the lake. Ah. You weren't lying. Kurama. Sama is in you, he exclaimed, turning to face his mentor. The youngster pointed to Naruto and exclaimed, wait, he is sealed inside of you. Naruto used the phrase, hold up for a minute, to try to protect himself. He began hurling some tiny fox fire at him, saying, no, I will free Kurama. Sama. From the situation. In order to avoid the attack, Naruto began to flee, wishing to avoid harming the child. Hey Kurama. Tell him to stop. As he laughed at the circumstance, Kurama exclaimed, why this is funny. Stop moving, so I can hit you. This went on for a few minutes until the child became exhausted. With a furious tick mark on his head, Naruto questioned, why didn't you stop him, Kurama? Kurama grinned and remarked, because you could have eaten those fireball. You are a fire dragon slayer. God damn it. You are right. Naruto yelled, repeatedly using the word, stupid, as he pounded his hand against a tree. The child uttered, wait. Dragon. Slayer. Between pants. The fabled dragons and their dragon slayers were well known to all demons and yokai. Oh well, we should start from the beginning. It all started. One explanation later, as he concluded his tale, Naruto remarked, and I followed the trail to find you crying. The child looks to Kurama for approval, getting the older kitsune to nod. The child bowed and said, wow, Naruto, you are incredible. I'm sorry for not trusting you earlier. Naruto grinned and said, it's okay. You seem to have needed assistance, so I came to help. So how about you tell me your name and what happened? The now identified child, Shippo, sobbed as he explained, well, I'm Shippo. My dad died protecting me from the Thunder Brothers, a pair of brothers from the Thunder Demon tribe. They took my dad's body with them to use as a trophy. Then, in order to bring him back to reality, Naruto kicked him out of his mindscape and severed his connection with Kurama. In the forest again, saying, "Hey, what was that for?" Shippo clutched his head in agony. Naruto went up to pick up Shippo and carry him on his back with one hand, saying, "That gave me a headache. Hey, let me go." He struggled for a few minutes before giving up. Shippo said, "Well, where are we going, Naruto?" Shippo was shocked to hear, "We are going after the Thunder Brother. I'm the son of Bahamut. He taught me several elements of Dragon Slayer magic. That includes lightning, so I can take them on. We need to go give your dad a proper burial. That I promise you." Naruto Pendragon never goes back on his word Datbeo. Shippo was overcome with emotion. Shippo sobbed into Naruto's back and exclaimed, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Naruto grinned as he released Shippo and allowed him to walk alone, saying, "No problem. I may not be a kitsune, but thanks to Kurama, you guys are family to me too. I will help you whenever you need it." Naruto. "Yeah, can I stay with you after this? I have nowhere else to go." With his signature fox grin, Naruto said, "Of course you can. The more the merrier. I just hope you are ready to handle all the adventure we are going to have." "Really?" Naruto given a nod. "Yada!" exclaimed Shippo joyfully. He wouldn't be by himself. Now, he had a family member. Time skip. The two went to a mountain by following Shippo's father's trail, only to have the Thunder Brother confront them. One of them was making a decorative sash out of the fur of Shippo's father. Shippo exclaimed, "Dad," upon witnessing the use of his father's body. One of the brothers pointed out, "Hey look, brother. It's the kitsune that escaped." His features were almost reptilian, and he was a big, bald demon. The other smirked and said, "Looks like we don't have to go hunting for him." With long black hair in a ponytail braid, the other brother appears largely human. With venom, he asked, "Who are you, human?" Humans are disliked by many demons. "Hand over Shippo's dad or I will kill you," Naruto said gravely, his intent to kill emanating from his body. The human looking one said, "Ha! Do you really believe that?" before the greatest surprise of his life interrupted him. Naruto sprinted past him, grabbed the bald one, and used one arm to tear him to pieces. While Naruto was still using his right arm, the demon fell to the ground dead. Using a somber tone, Naruto stated, "One down, one left to go." Wow! Naruto is incredibly strong. As Shippo retrieved his father's body, he thought hopeful thoughts. The final demon screamed, "Manton! You bastard!" and flew backward to gain some distance before launching a lightning bolt at him. "I, Hidden, will avenge my brother, you damn human." Naruto let himself be struck by lightning. He began to eat the lightning as soon as it struck him. With a corny smile, he exclaimed, "Burp! Thanks for the meal, now I've got a fire in my belly." Hidden exclaimed, "Damn! You're a slayer," as he realized his attack would now be ineffective. "Of course I'm a slayer. Let me introduce myself, I'm Naruto Pendragon, son of the dragon god Bahamut." He yelled in denial, "Impossible! There is no way that the dragon god will take in a human." Putting lightning into his right fist, Naruto said, "Well, let me show you the power of Bahamut's son." With a yell, lightning dragons break down fist. Naruto formed a lightning powered fist and charged at Hidden. He smiled as he said it. He was struck by lightning. He was barely hurt. "Ha! Do you think that lightning will be enough to take down a demon from the Thunder Demon tribe?" He laughed. Naruto reached into his coat and took out his sword, saying, "Well, it was worth a try." Everyone could see Restoration, the Heaven's Blade. He slung his blade over his shoulder and said, "How about we do this the old school?" As Hidden descended to use his staff to defeat Naruto, he said, "Agreed." He already understands the futility of a battle with their strength. Hidden ran swiftly in Naruto's direction and attempted to slit him with his staff, only to be blocked by Naruto. Naruto smirked and said, "Too easy." Hidden yelled in exasperation, "Don't get cocky, human," as he attempted to strike him, but Naruto blocked every blow. "Why won't you just die?" When Naruto made the decision to end the fight, he said, "Because I promise." Hidden's staff was destroyed when he directed enough magic into his sword. What? The? Exclaimed Hidden, startled. His father used to own the staff, which he inherited. Naruto screamed, "Fire Dragon Iron Fist," as he built up enough fire in his left hand to pierce him. Naruto left a hole in his stomach after attacking it. He was there to die. Coughing up blood, Hidden said, "Why you be? Bastard," then passed away soon after. Naruto yelled, "Hey Shippo! You can come out now," to Shippo. "Okay." Shippo emerged, clutching his father's fur. Wow, you are really strong. As he wiped away his perspiration, Naruto remarked, not really. I have skills, but the 2 attacks I used to kill them were full of magic, so it was a little overkill. That fight was my first and took a lot out of me. I needed to show that I was worthy of being Bahamut's son. I think you are strong enough, Naruto, thanks Shippo. So how do we bury your dad? With embarrassment, he said, I don't know. Burn him with foxfire, Shippo. Burning a significant person with foxfire is customary, Kurama stated from the seal. Shippo placed the fur on the ground and lit it on fire with his foxfire, saying, okay Kurama. Sama. Reducing it to dust. No issue kid. Remove the Sama, we are now related. Hi Kurama. Shippo exclaimed, shedding more tears. Naruto also went off to burn the body of the demon brother. Shippo looked at him bewildered. Everyone deserved to have some form of goodbye when going to the next life. A burial of any kind is usually the way to go. Shippo continues to appear perplexed. At last, Shippo realized his reasoning when he said, we are not them Shippo. We are better than them. Don't stoop to their level. Time skip, Shippo stayed with Naruto and Kurama after the Thunder Brothers passed away. They were in the land of demons, Shippo informed them. Anything goes in that country because demons view it as neutral territory. The 2 thoroughly enjoyed their journey across the nation. When visiting a village, Naruto and Shippo would engage in a small competition to see who could pull a better practical joke. The humans were surprisingly oblivious to the presence of the simian in their village. He did nothing wrong to them, he was just a child. Sitting on Naruto's back, Shippo questioned, so what is the next step? He grew weary of walking. No idea. I still want to see how humans deal with demons, so I guess the next destination is a demon slayer village that the villagers pointed out before. Are you sure that is a smart thing to do? Some demon slayers just go around killing all demons they could find. Shippo sighed. Shippo, your family. I will protect you with my dying breath. Thanks. A few hours away, the 2 set out for the demon slayer village, just to observe. Shippo pointed to the village and exclaimed, hey, I see smoke. A lot of smoke. Naruto yelled, not good. Double-timed Shippo, and began to sprint towards the village. They both began to make their way to the village, only to discover a cemetery. Everywhere there were human bodies and demons. A massacre occurred. Naruto gives Shippo the order. Shippo looked for any survival. After listening to Naruto, he began looking around the village. Ah! Screams the hippo. Naruto yelled, Shippo, and sprinted to where Shippo was speaking. With a laugh, Shippo exclaimed, hey stop it. That tickles. When Naruto eventually reaches Shippo, he discovers a demon that resembles a cute little kitten. Sized cat with 2 tails, red eyes, and a marking on her forehead. When Naruto realized it was just a friendly demon, he said, oh, after asking, so is this the only survivor? The cat demon approached Naruto and began pulling at his leg. Shippo remarked, I believe she wants us to follow her. The 2 made the decision to follow the cat, only to discover that she was excavating a sizable heap of deceased demons. Someone groans beneath the bodies, Yua. Shippo heard the moan and began to lift the body, exclaiming, hey there is someone under all that. Naruto joins in to uncover the subterranean, only to discover a girl who is roughly Naruto's age. She has long dark brown hair, brown eyes, and is roughly 59 inches tall, about the same height as Naruto. Her long hair was tied in a high ponytail, but it was usually tied loosely with a ribbon, and she wore pink eyeshadow. Wearing a black skin-tight jumpsuit, she accessorized it with a red sash around her waist and pink armor plates fashioned from demon parts. She is a demon slayer, but, as he began carrying her bridal style to a house that was still intact, Naruto questioned, but what? She is too young. The armor shows she is a slayer, but most demon slayers start at the age of 15. As he placed her on a bed and began dressing her wounds, he remarked, well, she is getting more interesting. That was all he was aware of. Shippo. We are going to stay here with her until she wakes up. Watch over while I go bury the villagers and burn the demons. Alright. Naruto looked at all the bodies to clean up and remarked, damn, this is going to be a long day. Naruto spent the remainder of the day tidying up the demon slayer village that had been destroyed. He created a graveyard and laid out every human body there. Before the girl had a chance to say goodbye, he didn't want to bury them. All of the demons were reduced to ashes by fire. He didn't get any sleep. He worked day and night. After cleaning up, he dozed off and let Shippo take over. When the girl eventually woke up the following morning, she exclaimed, "Arg!" The cat demon leapt toward her. Before she realized it, she smiled and said, "Hey Karara." She cried out, "Father," and began to scan her surroundings, only to witness Shippo's scream waking him up. Ah! Shippo awoke and collapsed from the table he was resting onto the floor. Shippo landed on his head and began to rub it, saying, "Ow, my head. Oh, you're awake, lady." The girl began to panic and attempted to get up, but her injuries prevented her from doing so. "What happened?" "Wait, my family, my village," she exclaimed. Shippo said, lady. To catch her eye, everyone is dead." Dead? I'm sorry. Me and Naruto were heading to this village to find it in ruins. Everyone, demons and humans, were found dead. You and that cat demon were the only one we found." "They're dead?" She pondered. "Naruto spent the whole day, yesterday, cleaning up the village as best as he could. He found all the dead human and left them outside for you to see." The girl began to sob and was holding on to the cat tightly. Shippo approached her and gave her a back pat. 10 minutes passed before she finally calmed down. She finally stopped crying. Shippo grinned and said, "Oh, I'm Shippo. A kitsune." She smiled back. "Shippo, did this Naruto really clean up my village?" she said. "Yeah, he did. Come on, I will show you." Shippo walked over to assist the girl in getting to her feet and guided her to the temporary cemetery. The girl didn't see any demons' bodies, but she did see a lot of buildings that were destroyed. "Where are the demons? I know that many died during their assault." Naruto burnt all those bodies last night after finding all the humans." "Where is this Naruto?" "Oh, he is sleeping. Somewhere. He worked all day and night to clean the village and rebuild the wall to the best of his ability." This surprised the young woman. For a dead village, why would a stranger go to such lengths? She was now genuinely intrigued by Naruto. Shippo gestured to the line of bodies and said, "There's the graveyard he made and the bodies." As he gestured to a redhead dozing beneath a nearby tree, he said to her, "Oh, there is Naruto." She exclaimed, startled, "That's Naruto. But, he is so young." Shippo said, "Hey, you are about the same age as him. He's 12 years old." "Me too," she reflected. Shippo approached Naruto to rouse him. He began shaking him, saying, "Naruto, wake up. The girl is awake." Let me sleep. Grr. Foxfire. Shippo threw a fireball at Naruto after growing weary of attempting to wake him up. Naruto yelled, "Ah!" as the fire anguished him. He is helpless while sleeping, even if he is a dragon slayer. Naruto slapped him on the head and yelled, "Damn it, Shippo. What was that for?" "OWWW. Shippo exclaims in agony. Then Naruto turns to face the girl. As if nothing had happened in the previous few seconds, Naruto said, "Oh. Hey. I'm Naruto Pendragon." The girl burst out laughing. He simply approached her and shook her hand. The girl shook his hand and said, "I'm Sango." Karara then roared a little, "This is Karara." His smile turned to sadness as he said, "Nice meeting you too, my condolences." Sango smiled sadly and said, "Thanks." He led her to the bodies and said, "Well, let's go. It's time for you to say your goodbye." "Thanks for all your help, but I have to ask, why did you help my village?" she inquired. "Everyone deserves a proper goodbye. Even the dead deserve to be buried." Sango bid them farewell as the two approached the line of bodies. Shippo and Karara simply remained behind to give her the room she requires. During her farewells, Sango was in tears. Naruto tried to console her as best he could. Still searching for someone, she said, "Naruto, is this all the bodies you found?" "Yeah. I checked everywhere to gather the dead. I even checked the mouth of the demons to see if any ate them. I found no evidence that any did eat the villagers," he grumbled. She said anxiously, "I don't see my little brother. He should be here. I guess he survived." With tears welling up in her eyes, she declared, "He's alive. Kohaku is alive. I look for anyone trying to escape by following human scent. I only found one that was carried off with demons. I think that your brother was captured. I'm sorry." She let out a dejected, "Kohaku," and began to cry. Naruto simply gave her a hug and allowed her to cry. A few minutes after she was done, he questioned Sango, "What is your plan?" She cried out, "I'm going after Kohaku," and began to make her way to her home. He gave her a serious look and asked, "Are you sure?" She yelled at him, "Of course," before he cut her off. She simply gritted her teeth in frustration at realizing the reality. "You will die." You barely survived that attack on your village. You need to get stronger and allies if you want to find him. Besides, you don't have any idea where to start looking." She fell to her knees and yelled, "What do you think I should do then?" Naruto approached her and embraced her, only to make Sango slightly flush. "I say join us." "Join you guys?" "Yeah. I found Shippo after his father was killed and he wanted to follow me. I'm just exploring the world." "But you're 12. He smiled and said, "Yeah, a 12-year-old dragon slayer." A.D. Dragon slayer?" she exclaimed, startled off. She was aware that dragon slayers are extremely strong and hard to come by. "Yup. My dad is Bahamut. The dragon god, Bahamut." He smiled sorrowfully and said, "He found me 7 years ago and raised me. It was my time to leave a few weeks ago. I'm going to travel and help out anyone I find. Demons and humans alike. They should hear about stuff around the world. Demons taking in humans are rare news. If you join us, we could follow a lead, but the chances in finding him are still low." After considering it for a while, "Okay, I will join you. Well, before it's official." "Why? I have no one left. Kohaku could be lost forever. I may have been a prodigy demon slayer, but I never finished my training. You will be the best chance to find him and I don't want to be alone." Her voice was reserved. He smiled and shook her hand, saying, "Like Shippo. Well, welcome to our band of misfits, Sango." Her smile said, "Happy to be aboard. Before we start on anything, why do you have whiskers?" she inquired. Ever since she first saw them, she had been intrigued. While massaging the back of his head, he remarked, "Oh, well, that is a long story." She merely gazed at him, anticipating a response. "An additional background story later," she exclaimed in surprise, "Wow. I would never thought that you were a Jinchuriki." It was terrible to learn that Naruto had endured such suffering at such a young age. She lost faith in humanity as a result, but after learning that he persevered for so long, she began to see him in a different light. Someone who never faltered at the age of 5. He got to his feet and battled through the agony. He outshone her during her lowest point, and someone her age had it worse. Well, it's in the past. I could care less about it. I would just be careful when around Konoha. I feel like they may kidnap me for my new power. Still, that is not going to stop me. Naruto was surprised to hear, "I will be there to help you. I won't let you stand alone against the pain that you felt all those years ago, like how you were today," she said with an infectious grin. Shippo leaps with delight, exclaiming, "Yay, Sango is going to join us." "Meow," exclaimed Karara. Time skip 1 year, Sango and Karara joined the group a couple months ago. They assisted numerous villagers who were afflicted by bandits or demons while they were traveling. Sango and Naruto dealt with them with ease, but it was a little more challenging when they had to deal with a shinobi. Because of their agility, shinobi consistently avoid many of their attacks. They avoid Sango's weapons, such as her Hirikatsu, the large boomerang, and Naruto's Dragon Slayer magic. Though it required more work than usual, they were able to defeat the shinobi in the end. Naruto recommended that they rest in order to regain their strength. They returned to her village so she could continue her shinobi training and learn more about being a demon slayer. They honed their skills throughout the year. Naruto was able to learn how to use 2 elements simultaneously and unlock his dragon force. Sango even considered teaching him how to wield a sword. He improved his use of Heaven's Blade and its ability to produce steel threads. Hell, in order for Sango and Shippo to use the sword, Naruto added their DNA to it. Sango fell in love with the sword, but Shippo was obviously too young to use it. Every chance she got, she would ask for it. He could fight shinobi of the Jonin level. He could defeat shinobi of the Cage level when he used dual elements. He can compete with Bijus and numerous high-level demons thanks to Dragon Force. Sango studied the scrolls and learned every technique she could. Being one of the few people born with chakra, she even learned how to be a ninja. She primarily uses chakra to improve her physical abilities. She did pick up some jutsus, such as the basic 3 and a few wind and fire jutsu techniques. She was attracted to elemental jutsus of both fire and wind. As a level 7 seal master, 10 being the highest, she even practiced fuinjutsu. She could identify as an Uzumaki if she had red hair. She was greatly assisted by Naruto. Despite not having studied any kind of jutsu, he was naturally drawn to fuinjutsu because he was part Uzumaki. He knew the formulas for a lot of seals. Sango could fight shinobi of the Jonin level. She has the ability to defeat shinobi of the Black Ops Anbu level once she begins to use jutsus in her combat. Over the past year, neither Karara nor Shippo have changed. Except that under Kurama's guidance, Shippo improved his illusion making skills. He can now use his illusions to trick shinobi of the chunin level. The two simply played with each other and the other members of the group aside from that. When Kurara changed into her full-sized demon form, however, flames appeared from her feet and tails, and her power significantly increased, enabling her to fight even the most formidable demon opponents. The two boys were taken aback. After their initial meeting, Naruto and Sango undoubtedly became closer. She liked Naruto the moment she joined his group. He was a decent man who always tried to help others. She is impressed by his selfless efforts to bury the dead and clean up her village. The whisker mark didn't help either. Many girls would flirt with Naruto while they were traveling. It turned out that girls really like people with whiskers. Sango would observe from a distance. When Naruto reacted to their advances, she would occasionally hit him and accuse him of being a pervert. Naruto yelled at Sango from the gate, "Are you ready, Sango?" Almost, she returned the call. "I promise I will find out what happened to Kohaku." She touched her parents' gravestone and said, "Goodbye, father, mother." She then left to go to the main gate to meet Naruto, Kurara, and Shippo. "So what are we going to do next?" "I plan on traveling near the 5 major shinobi village. We couldn't find anything on Kohaku when we traveled around the countries away from them. We may find something out there and it could be fun." Sango shook her head and remarked, "Yar, you are too carefree." Shippo said, "That's Naruto for you." "All right, let's go," exclaimed Naruto. The land of waves. The group had traveled extensively, only to learn that a nation is in need of assistance. Gato of the Gato Company seized power in the land of waves and repressed the wave people. They would go there to face Gato, it was decided. After facing shinobi, bandits, and demons, it's time to eliminate the criminal mastermind. Kurara eventually succeeds in carrying them to the island on her back. Only a sizable group was discovered close to the town center. They noticed Gato close to a cross that had a man on it. Many were yelling for him to be released. "Stop it! Let Kaiza go!" Wave residents screamed for their hero, only to have the short man ignore you. Gato exclaimed, "This is what you get when you go against me." To the assembly, "Zabuza, finish him." Zabuza pulled out his big butcher knife, the Kubikiribocho, and swung it in Kaiza's direction. From the crowd, Naruto muttered, "Let's go." "Right," Sango answered. They both run to Kaiza. Restoration. To halt the attack, Naruto inserted his blade into Kubikiribocho's hole. To eliminate the thugs encircling the execution site, Sango hurled Haraikatsu at them. "What the hell?" exclaimed Gato, startled. Naruto simply regarded Zabuza with a chilly gaze that chilled him to the bone. Who in the world is this child? Zabuza pondered, a little afraid. With a sly smile beneath his mask, he remarked, "Nice sword you got there." With a smile of his own, he returned the compliment, "Thanks, my father gave it to me," as he leapt from Kabikirabocho and landed squarely between Kaiza and Zabuza, Naruto said. "Well, I'm going to have to take that from you." Naruto prepared himself for battle and remarked, "You can try, shinobi." Sango, check on the guy on the cross. Make sure that no one else is attacked by Gato and his goons. I will take care of the ninja. She warned, "Be careful." "Am I always?" "No," was her prompt reply, which caused Naruto to look dejected. "So quick," he said in a low voice. After shouting, "Fine. Let's get this party started," he charged at Zabuza. Zabuza simply keeps blocking his attack. This child isn't normal, damn it. As he struggled with his opponent, Zabuza thought. Failing to block any of his attacks, he leapt back then, hidden mist jutsu. The execution site was engulfed in a mist. Naruto yelled, "Not so fast, Sky Dragon roar," as a tornado blew all the mist away from his mouth. He reflected, Gale Dragon roar would be overkill in this area. Zabuza exclaimed in disbelief, "What the hell is that? I never seen any wind jutsu like that before." "That's because it isn't wind jutsu, it's Dragon Slayer magic." "Magic? There is no such thing as magic. That is for you to believe? My friends believe in me and my power?" Naruto used the chant, "O swift wind that dashes through the heavens, Vernier," to gain the ability to hover. Zabuza was surprised. No, only Onoki, the elderly man, is capable of such flight. As Naruto was able to move more quickly and slash Zabuza's back, Zabuza thought, perhaps this kid can use magic. And someone thought, Zabuza. "Sama." Naruto said, "Surrender Zabuza, Gato is finished," as he noticed Zabuza in agony, on his knees. Then all of a sudden, Naruto was thrown a bunch of senbons, only to be sidestepped by Naruto. After the initial round of senbon, a shinobi wearing a mask leaps in front of Zabuza and declares, "I will not allow you to harm Zabuza Sama." As Naruto studied the ninja, he thought, he has another partner. The Sango enter the battle. He is asked by Sango, "Are you okay?" Naruto answered, "I'm good. I dodged just on time. Handle her, Sango." Right, Sango used her katana to attack the newly arrived shinobi, only to be forced into a deadlock when she blocked it with her senbon. She began to perform a one-handed seal, saying, "I will not allow you to harm Zabuza Sama." Ice style. 1,000 flying ice needles of death. Around them, numerous ice-based senbons began to form. She then hurled them all towards Sango. Fire style. Flame wall. Sango rapidly sealed his hands and kicked Haku away. She was covered by 4 wall flames that emerged from the earth, converting every ice needle to steam. She smiled and remarked, "Not bad. Akeke Genkai. This is the first bloodline user I faced." She is eager to challenge the all-powerful Keke Genkai. Around Sango, a dome composed of numerous ice mirrors materialized, and the girl yelled, "Ice style, demonic mirroring ice crystals." As he silently restrained Zabuza with his steel threads, Naruto thought, "This isn't looking good." Sango looked around and thought, "There isn't any opening." The girl attacks Sango with a flurry of senbons, only for Sango to use Hirikatsu to block it. "Give up, there isn't a way to escape this jutsu. There is a way and I will find it, that's it." As she realized what to do next, Sango thought. She went over the hand seals once more. She yelled, "Fire style. Fire dragon roar." As a fire dragon materialized out of her hands and proceeded to grab one ice mirror. She needed a precise attack with a lot of firepower, similar to Naruto's fire dragon roar, so she developed that jutsu. The distinction is that Sango's version is designed for a single-person attack and is smaller in scope. She thought Sango's attack wouldn't succeed, so she said, "That won't work. My ice is special." Sango simply disregarded her and kept stoking the flame in that one mirror. It soon began to fracture, and the mirrors began to melt. Sango eventually stopped and hurled her Hirikatsu in the direction of the mirrors. The girl was shocked when the mirror broke. She exclaimed in terror, "What?" as her jutsu failed for the first time in her life. "It's simple. You need to constantly feed chakra to all the mirrors. If I focus on one, then all will lose power faster than attacking all the mirrors. Craft a weak chain link and they all fall down." Sango replied with a smirk. After being struck by Hirikatsu, the girl simply stood up and readied herself for combat. Bonk. She was unconscious. Naruto was standing behind her, his fist up. Naruto said nonchalantly, "Good job." Sango was so easily defeated by Naruto that she started to perspire. "Watch these two. We need to question them later." Naruto went to the injured Kaiza and then proceeded to the crowd that had gathered nearby. His hand began to glow blue as he applied the Sky Dragon's healing spell to Kaiza, saying, "Here, let me heal you. Better?" Kaiza replied, "Yeah, thanks kid, you saved my life." "Yeah, you guys are heroes. Thank you so much. We can never repay you too," emerged from the throng. "No problem. We came here to deal with Gato in the first place. Helping someone in danger is natural for us." Naruto replied with a grin. An elderly man then stepped up. He looked at them suspiciously and asked, "Who sent you?" He doesn't think such powerful people will come here for no self-serving reason. "Nowhere. We're just a couple of adventurers traveling the world. You guys aren't the first we help. By the way, I'm Naruto." He gestured toward Sango. He began to search for his other companions and said, "Over there is Sango." He yelled, "Shippo! Karara! Where are you two?" in an attempt to locate the 4 demons. Roar. Everyone saw a two-tailed demon cat as it roared from above. Everyone became frightened and fled, until it fell beside Naruto and changed back into her adorable self. Shippo petted Karara and said, "Hey Naruto. Karara and I were just hiding up there." W. What are they? D. Demons, kill it, they will kill us if we don't. The sight of Karara and Shippo caused panic in many. Naruto called out, "Hey!" to the throng. "Calm down. These two are demons, but they're not going to harm you guys." "But they're demons, so, they will kill us." So did Gato. He killed more people than these two have. Just because they're demons doesn't mean they go around killing people. Hell, demons attack by humans first because they look different. Demons only defended themselves until they hated humans for their constant attack. Humans are more evil than demons. Demons are just creatures like us that live their own life. The only difference is that they are born more powerful than humans. Causing everyone in the crowd to look surprised. That was not how they had ever considered it, only to discover Naruto was correct. Because they were different, they wanted to take 2 lives. Naruto stated, a person's action defines them, not their race, increasing the crowd's level of agreement. We're sorry. They say they are sorry. Don't apologize to me. The one you hurt are these 2. The crowd turns to face Kurara and Shippo. We're sorry, kid. I guess we let our fear get the better of us and didn't think that demons are people trying to live their life too, like us. With a broad smile, Shippo said, apology accepted. Kurara agreed with Shippo and said, meow. Time skip. They invite our group to join them in celebrating their new heroes after saving Kaiza. Gato fled and took refuge in his mansion. Zabuza and the girl, Haku, are questioned by Naruto and Sango. They discover they were helping Gato finance the rebels in Kiri. At the moment, Kiri is engaged in a civil war with its bloodline users. Naruto released them on the proviso that they inform him of Gato's location. They revealed Gato's location to Naruto and Sango. Sango and Naruto went to the mansion to kill Gato and complete their task. They had Gato sign over the rights to Gato Company to Kaiza and his family before delivering him to the Wave people for public execution. Kaiza renamed the business Wave's trading industry and took over as CEO. The first project he worked on was financing a bridge that his father.in.law, Tazuna, named the Great Pendragon Bridge. They give it Naruto's name, but since he didn't want anyone to know who he was, Naruto proposed that it be his last name. On that day, Naruto, Sango, Kurara, and Shippo were honored as Wave heroes in the land of Wave. To deal with the Bloodline War, the group boarded a ship and traveled to the land of water. They thought it strange because Kurama informed them that Yagura, the current Mizukage, is Isobu's Jinchuriki. Since Isobu hasn't returned any of the Biju's calls, he thinks something is amiss. But they weren't by themselves. Zabuza and Haku trailed behind them. Zabuza claimed that Naruto and his friends were pursuing him and that it was time for him to engage in combat on the front lines. After arriving in water, Zabuza guided the group to Mei, the rebel leader. Taking Zabuza at his word, she allowed the group to fight alongside the rebels against Yagor. Kurama thought that someone was controlling Jaeger, so Naruto promised to deal with him. Before the final battle, the war continued for a few more months. Yagura was the only opponent Naruto, Zabuza, and Mei faced in the final battle. Yagura entered full Biju mode, but Naruto confronted him with his dragon force. Mei and Zabuza were shocked to see how Naruto was subduing Yagura and knocking him out. Naruto stopped Zabuza before he killed Yagura and entered his mindscape to discover that Yagura was using a potent genjutsu. Some kind of Venus flytrap person was watching from a long way away from the battle. Interesting, is all that is said. To learn the truth, they captured him and questioned him. In actuality, a masked Uchiha used genjutsu on him. Mei, her new council, and the new Mizukage were informed of the truth. Zabuza took over as the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist's new leader. He was forgiven by the bloodline users for his crime. Realizing that Uchiha was in control of him, they greet our jovial group of demons and slayers as heroes. They invited them to become part of the group, even acknowledging that given Naruto's past, this might result in conflict with Konoha. They claimed that after Naruto discovered that a demon was terrorizing people all over the world, they decided to spend some time in Kiri. As Naruto noted, this might result in Kohaku. He noted that because her village was known for producing numerous demon slayers throughout history, demons could have attacked it long before she was born. If they had long detested her home, why would they attack now? Sango concluded someone had gathered the demons to attack her house. They decided to temporarily join Kiri since this was the first hint to Kohaku in a long time. All of this occurs in a single year. Naruto and Sango search everywhere for hints. The only thing they discovered was that the demon that preys on humans was wearing a baboon cloak. Mei requested one final task to complete before they left Kiri. They worked for Kiri even though they never joined the Shinobi Corps. We now proceed to the Tower of the Mizukage. Mei said, good to see you four. Observing Naruto, Sango, Kurara, and Shippo. In response, Naruto said, thank you Mei. Sango bowed and remarked, good to see you Mizukage. The last job I have for you is to represent us in the chunin exams this year. In Konoha, Mei replied. Catching the group off guard. You do know that this could lead to war. I heard that the Toad Sage have been looking for me during the year with more effort than before. Naruto made the point. During his year in Kiri, Naruto learned that Jiraiya had been working harder to locate him. Why now, one might ask? I know. I'm willing to accept the risk, but we need the best to get clients, she replied. Sango said, all right, give it to us, catching Shippo and Naruto off guard. Together, Shippo and Naruto exclaimed, what? Naruto, you need to face your past sooner or later. This way, you would have protection from Kiri. Sango made the point. Shippo agreed with her reasoning and nodded. Naruto pouted and said, fine. Mei told her guard, ow, to bring them in. Letting Haku and Yagura enter by opening the door. Haku and Yagura assist Naruto and Sango in their search for Kohaku. Haku developed an interest in Naruto after Yagura expressed gratitude to him for saving his life. Something Sango watched closely. Haku will be your third teammate and Yagura will be your Jonin sensei. This way, Konoha will think of taking you. They would never take the risk of having a perfect Jinchuriki attack their village, she said with an arrogant grin. Fine then. This will be the last job, then it will be our time to leave, Naruto replied. The group smiled when he said, of course. But remember that Kiri will always help you in your time of need. Haku held up her hand. Mizukage. Sama, may I make a request? Mei asked, go ahead. Haku blushed and said, I want to retire and go with Naruto and Sango. Everyone was taken aback. This only made Mei smile. Mei saw Haku as her own daughter and wanted her happiness ever since she and Zabuza began dating. Mei smiled and walked to her to embrace her, saying, you're free to go with him. Just promise me to be careful out there. Haku smiled and said, I will. Naruto asked his friend, are you sure you want to go with us, Haku? Haku smiled and asked, do you remember? Flashback. During the Civil War, that is. The rebels began to turn the tide when Naruto and his group got there. Naruto could battle a lot of foes at once because of how destructive his power was. He received excellent support from Sango. Shippo stayed with Mei at headquarters because he was too young to fight. The little kitsune was adored by Mei. He was so cute that she didn't care if he was a demon or not. Furthermore, she was aware that Yagura was the nation's true demon because of her needless slaughter of bloodline users. Haku was dispatched with a squad to raid a Yagura camp close to their territory. She and a few of her teammates were captured after the mission failed. When Naruto heard the news, he screamed, what do you mean she's captured? We underestimated them and Haku and her squad were captured, Mei responded. Then send help. You think we can't? I want to save her too. She is like a daughter to me, but this is war and I can't send men in without thinking of the possible consequences. Mei yelled with tears in her eyes. She was struck hard by Naruto's word. They resumed dating after Zabuza returned. Mei saw her as a daughter after observing that Zabuza did. Sango nodded when Naruto turned to face her. Together with Kurara and Shippo, they began to depart. Mei stood up and asked, where you four going? Sango stated that, we don't leave a friend behind. Shippo exclaimed, yeah, if you won't go, then we will go, with great enthusiasm. The team set out to save Haku. They would fail, according to many, because Yagura would publicly execute bloodline users in order to attract more. 3 days later, they returned safely with Haku and her group. Flashback end, you saved me. I owe you and Sango. If helping you on your travels means that I can repay your kindness, then so be it. Haku grinned. Naruto patted her head and remarked, I told you before, you owe us nothing. That is what friends do for each other. Intransigently, Haku stated, I still want to go. He turned to face Sango and asked her what she thought. What do you think, Sango? She approached Haku to whisper something after saying, I'm fine with it, he is mine. Haku returned the whisper. The two girls exchange lethal glares as they say, we will see. Lightning was visible shooting out of the eyes of some of the people in the room. Zabuza exclaimed, hey Gaki. As he unexpectedly entered the room. You better take care of her. I will. Naruto exclaimed, confidently hammering his chest. It was deadly when he said, if you hurt her, I will kill you. With a perplexed expression, he said, why would I hurt her? She is my friend. Everyone in the room, including Shippo and Kurara, starts to perspire. Zabuza simply struck him over the head. Itai, Naruto sobs and clutches his head. Zabuza muttered, stupid Gaki. Yagura simply shook his head, and Mei merely giggled. Well, that is your mission. Go pack up and get ready. Mei gave the order. The three children all exclaimed, right, at once. Naruto asked himself, I wonder what has been happening in the village. Konoha, with fatigue, The fourth Hokage declared, "This year, the chunin exam will be held in the village. Things have changed." Flashback. He began having problems 8 years ago. Everyone was enjoying themselves as it was Mito's 5th birthday. Mito was conversing with Hinata and Ino. The head of the clan and many of the heirs or heiresses attended this event. After all, Mito is the princess of Konoha. Before Hiruzen entered the room in search of the parents of the children celebrating their birthday today, everyone was content. He was holding a large gift for a very special person. As he greeted his predecessor, Minato exclaimed with delight, "Hiruzen, welcome. You made it for Mito's birthday." Hiruzen merely scowled at him before beaming as Minato and Kushina showed up. Then Mito arrived grinning broadly. Mito yelled, "Oh boy! A big present for me," and embraced the gift that Hiruzen was holding. He merely smiled at her sorrowfully. "I'm sorry Mito-chan, but this present is for Naruto-kun. Where is he? It is his birthday today." Everyone was quiet. Hiruzen was well aware of his actions. To celebrate his birthday, Naruto would gather with his family, the Ichiraku, Makoto, Itachi, and Izumi, at the Sarutobi compound. Itachi used to be friends with Izumi, a Uchiha, when they were younger. He began dating her as they grew older, and she would assist him in keeping an eye on Naruto. Naruto grew up with Itachi and Izumi as older siblings. Sasuke, on the other hand, attended Mito's birthday celebration because they were friends. Because Naruto lacked chakra, he believed he was a nobody. Naruto was always in their hearts. He was a naive child who was dealt a rough hand in life. But he failed to appear this year. Itachi made the decision to go look for him after the people became concerned. Only to discover nothing. Hiruzen reasoned that he could repair the Namikaze at this time. Unfortunately, it's too late. He put on a phony horror face and asked, "Well, where is Naruto-kun? Don't tell me you forgot about him?" He was grinning inside. Kushina began, "Oh. Of course not. Naruto is." But was unable to proceed since she had no knowledge whatsoever of her son. "He is." Minato attempted to go on for Kushina but encountered the same issue. "I don't know," both of them thought simultaneously. The Namikaze were given a glimmer of hope when they were told, "Well, I will tell you too where he is. He should be at my clan's compound for his birthday that we celebrate together like last year." Made them wince and startled many clan heads who were listening. "However, he didn't show up and we can't find him anywhere. I thought he may be here celebrating his birthday, but it looks like I was wrong," said Hiruzen. Then he walked out of the room to return home. Knowing that Itachi was his only chance of finding Naruto, he took the necessary action. That brother's failure? Mito pondered. She never liked her brother. He was seen as a worthless family member who was undeserving of anything. The irony is that although she is a good-hearted girl, she treats her brother cruelly. When the door closed, indicating that Hiruzen had left, mayhem broke out. Although they were unsure of which room was Naruto's, Minato and Kushina went to search for him. They were unaware that one of the guest rooms they had saved was Naruto's. To find Naruto, Minato organized the heads of the Aburame, Hyuga, and Inuzuka clans to form a search party. When Kushina realized they had forgotten about her only son, she started crying. She knew deep down that she was a Namikaze, but it was unforgivable by Uzumaki standards. She didn't pay attention to that voice. The gathering was called off. They searched all night long but were only able to locate Naruto's blood pool. When Kushina heard that Naruto had left a trail leading out of the village, she started to cry even more. They were unable to locate anything else after the scent ended in an open field. Not anyone, not even his smell. In a panic, Kushina searched the village as much as she could for him. Minato, however, persuades her to remain at home and look after Mito. Because she believed that someone had abducted Naruto and would do the same to Mito, she reluctantly agreed. She is unaware that Mito is already secure. Minato uses his Hiraishin to mark Mito and Kushina. She was having a panic attack and forgot about it. She didn't ask why she didn't teleport Naruto back until a few days later. Declaring that it would be a waste to mark Naruto, he disclosed that he never does. Their marriage is only strained as a result. She didn't divorce him only because she didn't want to harm Mito. After a year of searching, the search was cancelled because there were no leads. Jiraiya's shinobis and spy network were unable to locate any information about Naruto. The Uchiha coup d'etat was the next issue. Someone revealed that Biju could be controlled by the Sharingan. Since then, the village has been suspecting them of the Kyuubi's attack. Although they would refute the rumor, Minato's inaction only serves to bolster the allegation. Minato blamed the Uchiha for his son's death even though he was aware of the Sharingan's dangers. It's easier to place the blame elsewhere, even though he knew it was a rogue Uchiha. They had grown weary of the treatment and intended to take action. At that point, Minato gave Shisui Uchiha the order to eliminate every member of the clan save the loyalists. Only Mikoto, Sasuke, Itachi, and Izumi remained. Because Itachi refused to receive retribution, Sasuke sought to exact revenge on his clan by killing Shisui. He began to withdraw from all people. His relationship with his brother gradually began to deteriorate. Flashback end. I have a lot of issues to deal with right now. The Mist sent a team after escaping a civil war. Additionally, he reasoned, all of the major hidden village will participate for the first time in a long time this year. In addition, I promised Onoki that I would marry my son to his granddaughter. Why was I unable to be honest with him? Minato thought again, I would risk anything for peace between our villages because of this. He arranged for Onoki and his granddaughter Kuretsuchi to enter into a marriage contract. He wanted to make peace with that village and was still in the early stages of his marriage to Kushina. Onoki would now arrive at the examination to discover that his son had been absent for 9 years. Just 5 years ago, Onoki reminded him of the contract. It won't work out. Minato prayed, please come back Naruto. He desired him more as a peace pawn than as a son. Aboard a ship, kill me, shouted Naruto feebly. As Naruto threw up all over the ship, Sango remarked, I never get tired of seeing it. She was taking pleasure in his motion sickness misery. Aside from when he eats ramen, that was the only occasion you saw him appear weak. Dragon Slayers really have motion sickness, do they? Replied Shippo. Although he had heard that motion sickness was the weakness of all Dragon Slayers, he was shocked to see Naruto demonstrating his invincibility. I still can't believe that the brat that beat me is losing to a ship, Yagura murmured. He had first-hand experience with a Dragon Slayer's power and knew it was something to be taken seriously. It is depressing to see Naruto in this state. Whereas a ship could defeat a boy, the former Mizukage couldn't. Kurara. Save me, pleaded Naruto. He desired to land by riding her. Haku asked the group, how does that work? Kurara should give him motion sickness too. Dragon Slayer don't consider living creature as a form of transport, so they don't feel any sickness, Sango responded. Shippo noted, but he was throwing up when he was riding that giant demon before. It's Dragon Slayer logic. If it's too big, they will consider it as a form of transportation, Sango stated to Shippo. Together, Haku and Yagura uttered the words, that doesn't make sense. Sango and Shippo both said, you can't beat Dragon Slayer logic. They come to abandon Dragon Slayer reasoning. There's no logic to it, meow. Kurara agreed and meowed. After a while, at last, they disembarked from the ship. Something for which he was constantly grateful. They camped for the night because they wanted to take their time getting to Konoha. Naruto is on a tree, separated from the others, on the first night of camp. Come on Naruto. We couldn't let Kurara take you to land. It would take too long and tire her out. Naruto heard Shippo say. I don't care. She could have tried. I could have died on that ship, replied Naruto. Shippo comforted him, saying, don't be such a baby. It was only a few hours' ride, you would have survived. Naruto shouted, I'm a Dragon Slayer, we don't survive on vehicles, after him. The memory of Naruto pleading for his life to leave the ship made Shippo laugh. Naruto ignored him and kept pouting. I'm sorry, okay, come on, Sango is almost done with dinner. Sango exclaimed, Naruto, Shippo, dinner is finished. Naruto is busy sulking. Replying Shippo. Ah, he could be so childish sometimes. Naruto, I made ramen, replied Sango. Shippo exclaimed, ah, where did he go? As a gust of wind blew past him. He was at the campsite when he looked around. Itadakimasu, exclaimed Naruto joyfully as he began to eat the ramen. As he descended from the tree and made his way to the campsite, Shippo thought to himself, man, he moves fast for ramen. He shows up to start eating his ramen bowl, to discover that Naruto is currently on his 4th bowl. All the others could do was watch him devour his ramen so quickly. Konoha. They left the ship a few days ago and are now heading to the chunin exam. A large number of foreign shinobi began to arrive in Konoha. On the day of the test, the Mist group shows up. It began at the academy, and they had a few hours before they had to report there. Shippo, Kurara. Stay with Yagura. You guys won't be allowed to join us in the exams, Sango stated to them. They both exclaimed, hi, meow, and approached Yagura. Naruto told Yagura in a serious tone, take care of them, Yagura. Be careful around here, they aren't friendly to outsiders or non-humans. Yagura led them to the hotel where they would stay after saying, "I will." The three genins made the decision to explore. Naruto chose to go investigate after hearing some irate voices. 2 Suna shinobi and 2 Konoha shinobi were among the 5 individuals they saw. There were 3 civilian kids as well. There was a male and a female Suna shinobi. The man had a black suit of some sort on, purple paint on his face, and what looked like cat ears on his head. The girl had a big battle fan on her back and was blonde. The Suna male said to the young child who had bumped into him, "Hey, watch where you going, you little brat." The girl said to the man, "Kankuro, come on Kankuro, just let him go, we have to meet up with sensei." He looked at the child and said, "Come on Tamari, we have plenty of time." Kankuro grinned and remarked, "Besides, I hate cheeky brats with no respect, I think he needs to learn a lesson." The boy merely swallowed. Both of the Konoha shinobi were female. Naruto recognizes the blonde girl with the whisker mark as Mito. The other girl had a flat chest and pink hair. The one with the pink hair timidly said, "Please put him down, he's just a little boy." "No," Kankuro smirked and said. He grabbed the child and was about to punch him. "Konohamaru!" exclaimed the other 2 children. Someone beat her to it, but Mito was about to stop him. Konohamaru. Naruto pondered. He recalls his Gigi's newborn grandchild. To put an end to it, Naruto went. Kankuro cried out in agony, "EHHH," as he was struck by a punch to the fence. Konohamaru was discovered by Naruto. Fast, many people thought. Naruto grinned and remarked, "So, you are all grown up now, Konohamaru." He set Konohamaru aside. As his friends approached him, Konohamaru said, "That was so cool. You were. Start making fighting noise." And then he went. Crying noise. And, "Wait, how do you know me?" The redhead wearing an odd outfit was the focus of attention for the 3 kunoichi that were still standing. None of the ninja gear they were familiar with matched it. The mist headband he tied to his arm was the only thing that screamed, "Shinobi." He laughed and remarked, "I didn't recognize you at first. The last time I saw you was in 8 years. Konohamaru answered, "But I was born 8 years ago." "Exactly. Did the old man ever mention someone that disappeared 8 years ago?" replied Naruto. When Konohamaru thought of someone like that, his mind went into overdrive. Surprised, he yelled, "Don't tell me that you're Naruto." Before he vanished, Hiruzen would tell him about a young boy who used to play with him. He recalls Hiruzen telling him that he had blue eyes with whiskers and red hair. He rubbed his head and said, "Guilty as charged." Mito's gaze was fixed on Naruto. She said, "That failure of a brother," aloud, surprising her teammate and the children. Although she was always nice, she was treating her own brother coldly. 2 girls remarked, "He isn't a failure." At that moment, 2 of his teammates arrived. Naruto simply disregarded her remark. She detested him, and he knew it. He was unable to determine why. He had no evidence, but he assumed it might have something to do with Kurama's soul being sealed inside him. At last, Kankuro stood up from that assault. "Bastard," snarled Kankuro. "I'm surprised. Even for the alliance between Konoha and Suna, you guys sure fight a lot. Or that these 2 wouldn't defend a member of their village. Isn't teamwork and friendship your village's specialty?" The person with pink hair looks down with disgust. Mito merely sneered at his remark. "Also, I have to wonder why you got into your teammate's make up kit," he said, turning to Kankuro. His teammate and the Suna girl both laughed at that. "Warpaint," he shouted. Naruto, whose nose is truly remarkable, said, "Well, I smell make up." Then he turned to the tree and said, "You 2 can come out now, I know you're there." To the astonishment of the others, 2 boys emerged. One was a redhead with pale skin and a tattoo on his forehead, and the other was identified as Itachi's younger brother, Sasuke Uchiha. The 2 descended to join their teams, and Sasuke was shocked to discover that Naruto had not only defeated the Suna shinobi with ease but also knew where he was hiding and that another Suna shinobi was also hiding in the same tree, something he had missed. The words, "G. Gaara," were stuttering. Gaara turned to Naruto and said, "I'm sorry for what my sister and brother did." "Who are you?" "You're a disgrace to our village, Kankuro." "Isn't it courteous to make an introduction first?" In return, Naruto inquired. "My name is Sabaku no Gaara, Naruto Pendragon." Mito, Sasuke, and Konohamaru thought of him as Pendragon, knowing that he was Minato Namikaze's son. Gaara's eyes widened in shock, and a mad smile appeared on his face. "What's wrong, Gaara?" When the girl noticed something wrong with her brother, she asked him. He In contrast to his siblings, Gaara learned from Mother that Pendragon is an old title given to the strongest. Let's go. Gaara vanished, and the other two followed. He is very powerful, Tamari. So, did the failure come home? Mito glared as he asked. Mito, just let it go. He said icily, I don't have time to deal with you, and walked away. I didn't believe Naruto when he told me that his sister didn't like him. Sango, who always believed that family should remain together, told Haku, I guess it's true. After witnessing how Naruto's family is to him, she could see why he views Bahamut as his only family outside of the group. They departed after Haku said, we should go, the chunin exams will begin soon. Konohamaru. Tell the old man I've returned to the area, from the rooftop, Naruto yelled. Yes, I will. Konohamaru, who had always wanted to meet his grandfather and had heard many of his stories, shouted back. Chunin exam room. The group made the decision to go to the examination room with all of the other teams from all of the other villages. Except for Konoha, there was one team from each of the major hidden villages, and everyone had already gathered to scope the competition. One Iowa girl was staring at the Kiri team and was about to approach them when a few rookie teams made the decision to show up. You're running late, Sasuke.kun. A blonde girl in purple shouted. Sakura, who had pink hair, began to yell at the person in purple, who she identified as Ino. She called Ino, Ino.pig, and Ino responded by raising her billboard brow. Given that these Konoha genin were too young to apply for the Chunin exam, some of the older genins whispered, Dear God they are green. They assumed that Konoha was attempting to brag. Two boys, one, large, with a bag of chips and the other looking lazy, approached the Konoha group. The lazy boy mutters something about a troublesome blonde. Hooray! All of the rookies appeared to be present, then their final teammate, who was wearing a coat and appeared to be an Abrame, began to yell at each other. Another boy shouted as he and his team joined the ever-expanding Konoha group. He had a dog with him, and Naruto assumed he was an Inuzuka. He also noticed a girl with a shy appearance that suggested she was a Hyuga based on her eyes. A new guy wearing glasses said, You should be a little quieter. You're just rookies, right out of the academy, he said. As you can see, you're drawing unnecessary attention to yourselves, he said, pointing out to the rookies that numerous teams were staring at them. When Sakura asked him about the exams, he revealed that Kabuto had taken them 7 times, including this one. He then showed them his information cards, which included information on nearly every shinobi who had previously taken the exams as well as past exams. He explained that this was the first time in a long time that all 5 hidden villages were included in the exams, saying, it seems that there are 1 team from Suna, 21 from Ain, 15 from Kusa, 72 from Konoha, 1 from Ato, 1 from Kumo, and 1 from Kiri. Mito and Sasuke tensed when they learned about Kiri. Then you have information on the skills of most of the genin here? Sasuke asked Kabuto as he stepped forward. He inquired. Obviously, a specific person? Kabuto smirked as he asked. Everyone glares at Sasuke, who is known as Naruto, the boy who was Mito Namikaze's brother. Naruto Pendragon and Sabaku no Gaara. You already know their names, that's no fun. The rookies and a few other teams were taken aback when Kabuto pulled out the card that contained Gaara's information. He is the son of the Kazekage and is the teammate of his elder siblings Kankuro and Tamari. He completed 12 C ranks and wow, even 1 B rank. It's also said he completed all the missions without getting a scratch. Naruto Pendragon comes next. In Kiri, he is unknown. Sango and Hakuyuki are his partners. Although his background is unknown, it is stated that he fought in Kiri during the Civil War. In the end, he even fought against Yagura himself and prevailed, surprising everyone in the room. The Kiri team simply smiled at this. He played a significant role in turning the tides for the rebel. No way, impossible, a few whispered. He became a national hero to Kiri for defeating Yagura and as a hero to the country, Land of Waves, Kabuto added. The rest of you rookies are the same age as him. It doesn't say what jutsu he uses, but he is seen using fire jutsu, water jutsu, wind jutsu, earth jutsu, and ice jutsu. Surprising even more people, the girl from Iwa simply smiled and kept staring at Naruto while listening to Kabuto. It doesn't say what jutsu he uses, but he is seen using fire jutsu, water jutsu, wind jutsu, earth jutsu, and ice jutsu. Mito was shocked, wondering how he could use a Keke Genkai that she knew he wasn't born with, how he could use all elemental jutsu that only the 3rd Hokage is capable of using them, and more importantly, how can he destroy his chakra network? Sasuke smirked and said, it also says he can't use any genjutsu. He wanted to get the matter over with, so he said, but no genjutsu could work on him. Naruto then burst out laughing, adding, his taijutsu is said to be high chunin level and have massive chakra reserve. That caught Tenten's attention. Tenten was familiar with weapons, so hearing about a mysterious weapon made her salivate. That's about all I have on him, she said. His weapons are one of a kind that hasn't been seen before. It makes sense that Kiri is so powerful, but damn, they're giving it their all. A couple of people appeared eager to fight him, but Sango and Naruto were laughing at their cowardice as several teams began to depart, saying that war is a good way to get stronger. That isn't feasible. At our age, nobody can be that strong, Ino yelled in shock. Troublesome. Clearly envious of Naruto's power, Sasuke began to grit his teeth and mentally yelled, I should have that power. Everyone was taken aback by Mito's icy tone as she asked, how did that failure of a brother get so powerful? The girl from Iwa needed the information to validate something. It doesn't matter, he is the one that I'm going to marry, she thought, but why is he a part of Kiri if he is truly the son of the Hokage? Then a group from Sound made the decision to attack Kabuto in order to gain attention. Stop talking, everyone. The first part of the chunin exams has begun. A man in black shouted at everyone as he walked in. He smirked and said, my name is Ibiki Morino, and I will be the lead proctor of your first exam. He looked around and saw that some teams had left after Naruto's power was revealed, thinking, damn Brad is doing my job. Sango is intelligent enough to answer the question, but Ibiki grew a tick mark when he saw someone. It was Naruto, who was sleeping. For instance, the group from Kiri was using the ice mirror that Haku made to copy the answer, while everyone else took their seats and began working on their written test. After 45 minutes with 5 minutes remaining before the last question was asked, Naruto was still asleep and did nothing else, which infuriated him. After finishing the test some time ago, Mito thought, once a failure, always a failure. Awaken. As Naruto struck his head with a chalk stick, Ibiki screamed at him. Oh, yeah. Has the test been completed? As he woke up and began stretching, Naruto asked, causing many people to perspire. They had been expecting a deadly shinobi, not this. It will be over for you in 5 minutes. When Ibiki yelled at him, Naruto got up, approached a chunin disguised as a genin, switched papers with him, and returned to his seat as perspiration began to form on everyone's faces. Why on earth are you doing this? I have the solution. You stated that my team and I would be disqualified if we were caught 3 times. That is 1 time, he smirked, making a difficult exam seem so simple. Many people have facial faults. Ibiki's checkmark increased. I will immediately disqualify any of you brats who do it. He walked back to the front of the room after shouting at everyone. Ibiki smiled and thought, this year's batch is interesting. Damn brat outsmarted me. Many people groan at this. Okay, you brats, it's time for the last question, but there are extra rules for this question. Suck it up. You must decide whether or not to respond to the question. That's dumb. Why wouldn't we respond to the question? Tamari said as she got to her feet. When Tamari asked, Ibiki grinned and said, because if you get the question wrong, the exams will never be available to you again. You'll always be genin. Kiba yelled, that's insane. That's not possible. Stop. The next rule is that your entire team will stay genin if even one of your teammates gets the answer wrong. You have 2 options, Ibiki yelled, glancing at the genins. After answering the question, you have the option to either continue or stay eternal genin, or you can leave and return for the next test. Many teams began to depart one by one as the genin froze and considered their options. Many lacked the courage to continue taking the risk. They wanted to become chunin and wouldn't risk being genin for life. Naruto and Sango merely laughed or giggled at them. They weren't going to be shinobis for the rest of their lives, so it didn't matter to them. When Ibiki saw a redhead, his gaze hardened at him as he relaxed and appeared carefree. Ibiki smirked at the departing genins, knowing that he was doing his job if this many were leaving. Hey, redhead. Aren't you scared? Ibiki yelled at Naruto, the redhead. Fearful? Are you afraid that you will always be a genin? Nope, shrugged Naruto. If you can't do it, threats are ineffective. Ibiki gave him a murderous glare, saying, I know for a fact that you have no authority on us foreign shinobi. A number of the foreign ninja realized that Naruto was correct and that they had been fearless the entire time, and they finally found the courage to stay. Naruto looked at the people who were still getting up and about to leave, saying, you guys need to grow a pair. Risks are a necessary part of our lives. After hearing his insult or speech, many people began to gain confidence. If you can't risk something as simple as a promotion, then you are in the wrong line of work. Excellent. Ibiki said as the last of the genin that was about to leave took their seat, ready for the question. The brat inspired them to stay. He just grinned. You pass. Tamari got back up, startled. What about the 10th question? What do you mean we pass? Ibiki chuckled and pointed to Naruto, saying, Red here got it in one. There was no 10th question, or if you wanted to say that was the 10th question. You're a shinobi. Would you decline a mission that you dislike or that could result in your death? No. A shinobi's life is one of sacrifice. You are your cage's instruments to strengthen your country and ensure the safety of your people. What about the remaining 9 questions? A genin inquired. Those were meant to assess your ability to obtain information. In our profession, knowledge is power. Sometimes you will be asked to spy on a target or find secret materials, and then you will have to make plans based on that information. Your plans might fall apart if your intelligence is inaccurate or insufficient. The enemy may devise counter-strategies or provide you with misleading information if you are apprehended. A skilled shinobi can locate the necessary information and complete the task undetected. Congratulations on passing the initial test, Ibiki said, and the genin all applauded until there was a loud crash outside the window and a banner suddenly materialized to block Ibiki's path. The sexy and single proctor of the second exam, Anko Mitarashi, Sango, was glaring at the perverts, preparing to hit them with her boomerang, when a purple-haired woman wearing fishnet clothes and a trench coat appeared. Many boys gaped at the lack of clothes, and some of them began to get nosebleed. When Naruto noticed the entrance, he wrote a 7 on the exam's back and raised it. Oh no, just a 7? Anko sulked as she spoke. Naruto answered, eruptions and flames would have given you a 10. Last time, I did. Anko smirked and said, they banned me from using it again. As he removed the banner, Ibiki complained, Anko, you're early. Hey. Ibiki, I apologize. She pretended to smile and said, I didn't mean to ruin your little gig. Looking at the group of genins, she said, damn Ibiki, you did good. Ibiki turned away and said, as much as I would like to claim credit, the redhead was the one who scared the majority of the genin before I arrived. Hey. A child performing your duties. She looked at Naruto and licked her lips, saying, I'm impressed. Okay. Brats. Come to the next test with me. Everyone's perspiration fell on the woman as Anko yelled and leapt out of the window. Sango observed that both had a penchant for attention and remarked, she is almost as mad as you, Naruto. All right. Let's go. As he pounded his fist into everyone's hair and leapt out of the window, Naruto yelled, only to make every sweat drop enlarge. Haku began to leave the room after saying, I'm going to be normal and take the stairs. Me too, Sango said, and she followed her friend. Many people were still in shock, but they eventually used the stairs to follow the proctor. Death Forest. They were given their scrolls and proceeded to their starting point. All of the passing genin went to the Forest of Death to begin the second part of the exam. Anko had already given the frightening speech about the forest and attempted to frighten Naruto by throwing a kunai at him, which he dodged with his eyes closed. Then a Kusa genin appeared to return the kunai with her tongue creeping him out. How would you guys like to proceed? Naruto, who can quickly track anyone with his Dragon Slayer nose, asked. Hunt them all down or finish as soon as possible. I propose that the record be broken. Mark ourselves in this village, Sango smirked. I concur. Haku agreed, saying, we shouldn't cause any more trouble by remaining here. He pouted and continued with the plan to end it quickly, saying, you two are no fun. They encountered a pale, rather long-tongued Kunoichi only 30 minutes into the survival exam. My. Take a look at who I met. The girl told Naruto and his group, the Dragon of Nine. Naruto merely grinned at this remark, and the two girls stiffened because few people knew Naruto's title. Oh. Someone knows who I am. After a moment, he said, tell me who you really are. That makes things interesting. You are giving off a snake-like smell. The crazy woman outside is the only person I've heard of who emits the scent, and Orochimaru. He smirked and chose to remove the mask to reveal his true face, shocking both Orochimaru and his teammate. Aren't you shrewd? The Hokage's abandoned son. Someone who could still execute a Kekkei Genkai and Jutsu despite having a destroyed chakra coil. Orochimaru, who had heard about the Dragon of Nine during the civil war in Kiri, asked inquisitively, tell me how. After conducting his own research, he discovered the most startling detail regarding his true identity. The two girls were still prepared for battle when Naruto asked nonchalantly, well, I will tell you if you tell me why are you here. A minute later, I said, I'm here for the Sharingan. But I had to know your secret because I saw you, he said, licking his lips. To tell the truth, I also assumed you would have attacked rather than informed me. I must tell you, I suppose. It's magic, Orochimaru said, causing him to perspire. Magic? With a doubtful expression, he inquired. Yes. Don't lie. I was raised by my old man, who rescued me from this pathetic village. I can use magic now, and he changed me in some way. Don't ask, I don't know. With his trademark fox grin, he said, more specifically Dragon Slayer magic. Naruto has nothing to conceal about his power. I know you can sense chakra. Naruto forms a fireball in his hand. Is this chakra? As he used his senses to examine the fireball, Orochimaru thought, I don't sense an ounce of chakra in that fireball. I can tell he isn't lying. Is magic real? You would make an interesting host for myself. He then charged at Naruto to defeat them. Can't hold back on this guy, Naruto thought, grinning and raising his hand back to charge a rather large flame. He knew that the Sannin is not to be taken lightly. Purgatory dragons blazing hell. Naruto threw a massive flame attack at Orochimaru. Everything in front of him, trees and land, were burnt down in an instant. The forest caught on fire and slowly started to. Two girls knew that joining in the fight will get them killed. Naruto's attack caused too much damage in a large area, so if they join in, they may get caught in the blast. Stay on your guard. That kind of thing won't get him out, they were warned by Naruto. Orochimaru emerged from underground to confront Naruto, hiding beneath the blast to evade it. My, that was a really strong attack, he said. Orochimaru smirked and remarked, even though I would really like to take you for my next body, I feel like the Kyuubi's soul will overwhelm mine and kill me. Maybe magic is real after all. It wouldn't be the best idea to engage in a soul battle with the fox, even if its power was gone. I'm going to leave now. I still need to locate Sasuke Uchiha. He turned around and began to leave. Not so quick, I want that scroll you have on ya, he said to Orochimaru, who turned around and stared at him. The girls were wondering what the fool was doing, and the snake was on his way out. Orochimaru merely smiled at his request, then tossed his scroll to Naruto, who verified that it was the one his team required. I deserve something for the information I gave you, Naruto said. Look here. Acting as though meeting Orochimaru wasn't a huge deal, he exclaimed, it's the scroll we needed. The girls were appalled by his actions, but they quickly forgot about it and proceeded to the tower. In the tower, when they opened the scroll, 3 individuals, Yagura, Karara, and Shippo, plowed in. Smirking at them, Yagura said, a new record. You can pass the test in just 1 hour. Would you mind sharing your method with me? Yagura inquired, proud that they had broken a Konoha team's record by a few hours. The village was disappointed to learn that the second team would not be from Konoha. I just met Orochimaru. Speak with him. He gave us the scroll after I gave him a taste of my power, he remarked casually. Did you confront Orochimaru? Yes, and converse with him? Yes. Then got into a quick altercation with him? Yup. Then he handed you the necessary scroll? Bingo. Are you a fool? He yelled. Yes, was said simultaneously by both girls, and Yagura simply struck him in the head. Well, have fun during your 5 days here. As he began to move deeper into the tower, Yagura remarked, oh, before I forget, some people want to see you inside. He had to remain with his team during this portion of the test because he was their sensei. Flashback. Gigi. Gigi. As he ran back into his clan compound, Konohamaru yelled, followed by Moegi and Udon, who had all been friends when they were younger and had heard tales of Naruto. A good boy with an unbreakable will. Konohamaru. He hurriedly hid an orange book and said, it's good to see you. Did something happen today? He inquired after noticing that he appeared more excited than normal. I ran into this guy there. Hiruzen scowled at his story and said, then, he became animated, this guy saved me. He was going to beat me up. He had red hair and blue eyes with whiskers. He said his name was Naruto, which surprised Hiruzen because he knew that only one person fit that description. You previously told me about the same Naruto. Still in shock, he thought, Naruto, he is back. He belongs to Kiri as well. The headband on his shoulder caught my eye, Konohamaru concluded. As Hiruzen patted Konohamaru's head, he thought, I should tell the others. The Ichiraku and Uchiha saw him as family. Flashback end. The team went into the tower to eat, but they didn't have time to eat when they arrived in the village, so they went to the cafeteria, where they ate while chatting. Naruto was making a lot of nonsense about how he drove Orochimaru away to Shippo, but it was only when Kurama told him the truth that his fun was ruined. Haku and Sango were berating him for his recklessness against Orochimaru, saying things like, he could have killed them. Naruto's response was that they wouldn't know unless they fought. Another characteristic of dragon slayers is their insatiable appetite. As he finished another bowl of ramen, Naruto said, "You two can come out now." This surprised the other members of the group. Yagura remained composed because he knew that Konoha couldn't cause trouble without igniting a global crisis. "So you were aware of our presence?" a man's voice said. The nose of a dragon slayer is not to be taken lightly. He grinned smugly and said, "We can smell anything from a mile away." "The rumors are accurate, then. The Dragon of Nine is you?" After hearing a female voice say this, they emerged from the shadows, and Naruto turned around to discover, to his surprise, that they were Itachi and Izumi Uchiha. "I didn't anticipate that. You would have been the Namikaze couple, I thought." He smiled and said, "Nei-san, ni-san." They smiled back, and Naruto jumped in to embrace them. "You guys are missed. You are missed. I came here right away after the Sandaime told us about it to check if the rumors were accurate." Itachi grinned and said, "I'm glad to see you alive and well." Izumi sang the final line and turned to face the girls at the table, saying, "It's nice to see you, little brother, but I want to know who your friends are." Izumi enjoyed hearing about romantic relationships, and even though she was in a romantic relationship with Itachi, she couldn't resist interfering with other people's affairs. They were shocked to hear about Naruto's fate after hearing multiple tales of his journey out of the village. To be captured by a dragon, a legendary mythical creature, and to receive personal training from the dragon is unthinkable. Even more unbelievable is the fact that the dragon is said to be the god of all dragons, which makes it frightening to consider the might of a god. Izumi and Itachi began dating, which surprised him more than the Uchiha massacre. Naruto went on a tirade about how Itachi was too much of a stiff to get a girlfriend, something that Izumi agreed with and laughed at him for. He also warned them that Orochimaru was in the village and was after Sasuke. They left as soon as possible to find him, saying before they left that his parents knew he was in the village and warned him to be careful. Itachi updated him on what had happened since he left. The search for Orochimaru failed after 5 days, and he vanished as soon as he gave Sasuke the curse mark. The Hokage refused to cancel the exams because of the impact on the village, which is the first time in many years that all 5 major villages have come together. If they allowed a simple S-rank missing ninja to stop the exams, they would be perceived as a weak village. On the 5th day, all of the passing teams assembled at the arena to participate in the preliminary round. There were too many genins to compete in the finals. Minato's speech about the exam's actual objective shocked the Konoha genins but did not surprise the foreigners, who were shocked that the Konoha genin were so self-centered and fueled their belief that they only cared about themselves. Itachi was called upon to officiate the matches. Same as canon. Sasuke defeats Yoroi. Temari defeats Tenten, same as canon. Gaara defeats Rock Lee, same as canon. Neji defeats Hinata, same as canon. One of the Kumo genin, Omoi, remarked, "Dude, that guy has problems." "I'm not joking." Though she could somewhat relate because of her own little brother's issue, Temari retorted, "Same village and same family and he wants to kill her." Naruto Pendragon versus Kumo's Omoi. Many were interested in this. Minato wanted to bring his son back to the village, but Yagura's presence made it difficult. He couldn't risk a war with Kiri in front of the entire village, so he would watch and wait until the right moment. He needed to resolve the problems before Onoki arrived and things got out of hand. Gaara wanted to see the power that earned him the title Pendragon, Tenten wanted to see his special weapon, and Kuretsuchi wanted to see her future husband. Be. She was informed that she would be marrying the son of the 4th Hokage, and that he would be strong. With a "looks like I'm up" statement, both men descended. "Are you ready?" Itachi inquired, and Omoi pulled out his katana. With a nod, he said, "You used a sword. Good." He took what appeared to be a sword hilt from his coat. Restoration, catching everyone in the room off guard. After examining the sword with wide eyes like everyone else, Itachi thought, "I guess it does make sense." Naruto.kun did say it was made by the fang of his father, a dragon god. He could hear Yagura snickering. Minato and Kushina, who is a kenjutsu master and knowledgeable about swords, thought, "That sword isn't normal. A sword like that is beyond human blacksmithing." Guy, Tenten's teacher, was preventing her from leaping down and examining the sword. Itachi says, "Begin, Cloud. Style crescent moon beheading." Omoi used one of his village techniques to hit Naruto, who immediately retaliated with a swing of his own. "No way." Omoi thought as Naruto's attack on his sword broke it like ice. "Too simple." Poison Dragon Roar. Naruto jumped back. The Kumo people were about to kill him when they heard a lot of coughing, so they turned to see that it was Omoi, who was still standing but didn't look very well. A strong cloud of poison was headed straight for Omoi, who failed to dodge in time and was struck. Many believed that the roar was a different form of the poison fog jutsu. My poison is completely under my control. It would be a pointless fight if I tried to poison you to death. I weaken my opponent with poison. Although I am aware of your abilities, they are of no use to me. I would much rather make you incapable of fighting than poison you to death. I'm a warrior, not a shinobi who wins by any means possible. Omoi felt all of his strength leave him and thought, damn it, I can't move. If I fight, it will cost me my life. He said, fine, I surrender. With the last of his strength, he fainted, and his entire team jumped down to check on him, with Samui and Killer Bee glaring at him. Don't be concerned. I choose my poison carefully, it just makes the body weaker. Naruto reinserted his sword into his coat and said, tell him to drink a lot of water to get it out of his system and he'll be okay. Nobody knew that Naruto was the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. It is well known throughout the world that the Hokage's daughter is the Jinchuriki, who, after all, divulges their own S-rank secret to the world. It seems that Konoha's conceit knows no limits. B-Rapt, thanks Little Nine for not killing one of mine. B had stars in his eyes as Naruto laughed at his comment, I may be 9, but I'm 9 of a different kind. Naruto attempted to rap, making Kiri and Kumo perspire. At last, someone gets me. That rapping to the key is well known. He uttered those words while grinning broadly and shedding happy tears. Following some reprimands from Samui and Sango regarding rap, the rounds proceeded. Ino faced Sakura, and although the two proud kunoichi of the Leaf fought valiantly against one another, the match ended in a draw because both girls knocked each other out. Kushina and Minato were shocked to see someone so skilled at Fuinjutsu at that age who wasn't an Uzumaki. Then, Sango defeated an Iwa Genin with her Fuinjutsu, paralyzing him and knocking him out with multiple broken bones. Haku defeated Kin by using her demonic ice jutsu to overwhelm her. By plugging Zaku's airwave cannon with his bugs, Shino was able to defeat him. Choji lost to Dosu rather easily, although it wasn't as strong as Sango's. Mito's Fuinjutsu was sufficient to defeat Karui. Since Shikamaru forfeited the match, Kuretsuchi defeated him. Samui used her swordplay to defeat an Iwa Genin. The fact that Kankuro killed a Konoha resident shocked many Konoha residents who believed they were allies. The others anticipated this kind of outcome because of Konoha's internal issues and their conceited attitude toward others. Kankuro's bout was the final one, and the winners approached the stage and drew numbers to determine their opponent. Naruto vs Sasuke in the first match. Second game, Neji vs Mito. Third game, Samui vs Tamari. Fourth match, Dosu vs Gaara. Fifth match, Kankuro vs Shino. Sango vs Kuretsuchi in the sixth match. Haku vs the sixth match. Winner in the seventh match. You should all feel proud. You will be able to represent your village and showcase your abilities because you advanced to the finals. You will have a month to get ready for the finals. Everyone is dismissed. Except for a select few, everyone began to leave the room. Only Naruto, Sango, Haku, Minato, Kushina, Mito, Yagura, Itachi, Kakashi, and Kuretsuchi remained in the room. Hiruzen and Tsunade wanted to keep things as civil as possible because Hiruzen knew that things could get out of hand. Jiraiya was on his student side in having Naruto become a Leaf Shinobi, and Tsunade was on Naruto and Hiruzen's side in this conversation. What the Namikaze and Jiraiya did was unforgivable, but she did nothing to help. Naruto simply looks at everyone in the room. Naruto and his friends realized it was time to face his past after he and his friends had won the preliminary round. It was easy to divide the arena. Minato, Kushina, Kakashi, Mito, and Jiraiya were positioned on one side. On the opposing side, Naruto, Sango, Yagura, Haku, Shippo, and Karara are standing against them. Hiruzen, Tsunade, and Itachi stood on the side. Kuretsuchi, who demanded answers, was on the opposite side. Their desires were obvious. They desired Naruto to return to Konoha's authority. To keep Naruto safe from the Konoha, his friends were present. The others were here to try to maintain the peace, which would probably be destroyed in the near future. Naruto asked, his voice devoid of emotion, "What do you want, Hokage?" "Dono," causing Kushina and Minato to wince. "We just want you to go back home and..." Minato attempted to respond. "This isn't my home. I was never part of this village. You should already know of my past and it suggests that I'm an enemy of your village." Naruto interrupted him. To defend his sensei, Kakashi said, Now, Naruto. You shouldn't talk to your parents like. Unconsciously, Naruto drew up his flame and screamed, "They're not my parents. I have only one father and this man isn't him." As her parents and sensei retreated when the flame began to emanate from his body, Mito merely snorted at his response. Yagura used the phrase, Hokage, Dono, to deflect attention from Naruto. Naruto is officially part of Kiri and you have no right over him. I was the previous Mizukage and I know about clan laws. Naruto may have been born from you and Namikaze. Dono. But you name Mito.san as the clan heir. That officially mean that you disowned the firstborn son from the family and lost all right. The only one that have any authority is his father and he is someone I won't reveal in order to protect Naruto's family. Yagura said. Despite not knowing Naruto's father, he has never inquired about it. Even so, as Hokage, Minato was interrupted once more. As Hokage, you only have authority over Konoha shinobi. Naruto is officially a Kiri shinobi, Sango replied with a scowl. She has always valued family, but she was aware that they only want Naruto as a means of bolstering their village, not as a member of their family, with the exception of Kushina. It was well known that Konoha wanted wealth and power. They encountered Tazuna once more while traveling to the land of waves by boat. For a straightforward D-rank escort mission, Tazuna hired a Konoha shinobi. To get to another bridge project, Tazuna needed an easy escort. The trio of Mito, Sakura, and Sasuke made up Kakashi's squad. A straightforward escort to a bridge that would be guarded by a Kiri team upon Tazuna's arrival. Kakashi attempted to persuade Tazuna to sign a contract that would grant Konoha exclusive rights and a significant discount on all products while they were on the trip. Since he had a better deal with Kiri and Konoha was performing a basic C-rank mission that wasn't worthy of such a contract, it didn't go down, of course. Minato said steadily, as that maybe, I'm ordering you to leave Kiri and join Konoha, Naruto. No, like Sango said, you have no authority over me and no connection to Kiri to have that kind of power. Naruto responds. I don't know why you want this disgrace back, he is better off dead, said Mito, causing her parents to make a shocked face and Kuretsuchi to raise an eyebrow. She was aware that something wasn't right, but she didn't realize how serious the Hokage family's issue was. Haku began to chill the air around her. Naruto shot back, good to hear that you're still a bitch Mito. Angering Mito. I don't expect you know what it means to live a sheltered life, but the real world is cruel. The way you are will get you killed. Mito drew a kunai, but Kushina stopped him. Naruto laughed at what she did. Jiraiya said, listen to your father, Naruto. This is for the best. Best for me or for you. I don't care about Konoha. It's not my job to save everyone. Beside, he isn't my father. Naruto responded. Kushina knelt. Please Naruto, come back. No, said Naruto icily. Mito swung a kunai at Naruto because she didn't want to see her mother suffer. Mito cried out, ah, as she tried to murder Naruto, only to have Itachi step in. He seizes her and secures her to the floor. With a smug smile, Naruto questioned, how is it like dying Mito? Jiraiya, Tsunade, Minato, and Kushina were taken aback. They understood his meaning. The Kyuubi's chakra has failed every time it has been used. She was unable to control the fox's chakra, even with Kushina. She used to be able to control it, but now she knows it's impossible. When they went to see how the two Namikaze women were doing, they discovered something startling. They are living shorter lives. Due to their Uzumaki ancestry, both girls possessed a strong life force. They now appear to age similarly to others and pass away from old age like everyone else. Yagura brought attention once more with the comment, oh, I remember you telling me about that Naruto. The use of demons Yuki isn't something that could be done without the limiter. I heard that Konoha had gained another Jinchuriki, but I never thought it would be from the same demon. The soul acts as a limiter to hold back the poisonous Yuki away from the host to prevent Jinchuriki dying. It appears that in Konoha's almighty wisdom that they thought that the laws of reality wouldn't apply to them. Haku laughed sarcastically. Behind Sango, Kurara and Shippo hid. After Haku's statement, they sensed the tension building. Minato yelled, Naruto. You will come back to Konoha? I'm sick of taking the easy route. Kuretsuchi was taken aback by the Hokage's move. He was regarded as a man who wanted peace. He now aspires to power at all costs, just like any other Kage. No, was Naruto's emotionless response. Minato was about to yell out his demands when he was interrupted. Minato. Enough. Yelled Hiruzen firmly. To see if you will see reason, he explains, you can't force shinobis of other villages to do as you please. Doing so would likely start a war. Calm down, Minato. You have no right to command Naruto of anything. He is out of your grip and can't be touched without causing an international incident, Tsunade continued. This is for Konoha. It must be done. If risking war mean to gain power for Konoha, then I see no problem with that. Minato replied sternly. Hiruzen and Kushina were shocked. Jiraiya merely gives him a nod of agreement. It's worth it as long as it's for Konoha. That sounds like Orochimaru. Gigi, you should have picked Orochimaru as the fourth Hokage, said Naruto. Greatly infuriating Jiraiya. You're willing to start a war and send many people to their death in the name of Konoha. Orochimaru sacrificed all those lives in the name for immortality. Both of you don't see anything wrong with that. Jiraiya was ready to take on Naruto. He refused to let anyone draw comparisons between his prize pupil and his old best friend. Luckily, Jiraiya was already on Tsunade, who stopped him in his tracks. Jiraiya yelled angrily, "Let me go, I'm going to kill him, instead." Tsunade yelled at him, "Calm down, Jiraiya. I won't allow you to start a war with another village," while resting him comfortably. As he reflected on how Orochimaru listened to him and acted on logic rather than emotion, Naruto remarked during the battle, "Geez. I met Orochimaru before and compared to you guys, he would have made a better Hokage. He at least listens to reason." This only made him more irate. Hiruzen yelled at the two, "Enough, Jiraiya. Calm down. You too, Minato. I won't allow war to come to Konoha because of your desire for power," finally calming them down. Kuretsuchi called out to everyone, "Hokage. Dono." Naruto growled dangerously at her as she said, "It seems that your son, Naruto Nami." She cleared her throat to continue, saying, "Ahem. Naruto isn't part of Konoha as you led my grandfather to believe. Why weren't we informed that he has defected?" "Ah, defected. Don't make me laugh. I was chased out at the age of 5. I was never part of this village even before then." Naruto was chuckling. Kuretsuchi crossed her arms and said sternly, "Would you explain, Hokage?" "Dono. We came here a few years ago to perform a political marriage between Naruto and I see that he isn't part of your village. I'm not marrying you. 2.San told me that I can do anything with my life. Marrying some girl for an alliance isn't going to happen," Naruto responded. "Doesn't matter. Your father. This pathetic excuse for a Hokage isn't my father. My father raised me to live a selfish lifestyle, do what I want. I will say that I like helping people out every now and then, but there's no way I'm sacrificing anything to a village like Konoha. A village that takes everything away from you and leave you nothing, but pain isn't worth helping." Naruto was overcome with emotion. Tsunade found his final remark particularly poignant. When she lost her lover and younger brother, she made a statement about Konoha along those lines. "If I'm marrying someone, then they have to prove that she is worthy of me." She asks, smirking, "Is that a challenge?" She didn't give a damn, despite the heated argument about whether Naruto should join Konoha or not. She continued to search for a solid husband. Sango interrupted, saying, "I think we are getting off topic. I didn't like the direction of the conversation." Naruto said, "Right, where were we? Oh, that is right. Would you explain, Hokage?" "Dono. Why is it Naruto, your supposed son, part of another village and wasn't even part of your village when my grandfather came with the proposal? You assured us that your son will be ready for the political marriage during the chunin exam. I see that you have lied to us," Kuretsuchi said with a stern face. Minato's best response was, "Well, it was necessary to lie. Konoha needs this alliance with Iwa. I will inform my grandfather of the news. The most likely outcome would be the contract being null and void," stated Kuretsuchi. Jiraiya yelled, "You can't do that. Konoha needs a better alliance than Suna," in protest. "You lied to us. We have all the rights to cancel the proposal. You never once told us the truth and expected us to trust you. How can we trust an ally if they're willing to lie and betray one another?" Her voice was icy. Whispering to Sango, Naruto said, "I'm starting to like her, only to be hard-elbowed to chest." As he recovered from Sango's blow, Naruto uttered the feeble words, "Well said." He pointed to Sango, Kurara, and Shippo and said, "I'm not joining Konoha ever. My family isn't the Namikaze or Uzumaki family. My only family is my real dad and these people." Shippo was greeting them with a wave. Mito yelled, "What is that thing?" and gestured toward Shippo. She had never seen anyone with strange ears and a tail. Sango yelled back at her, "He leave him alone." With his eyes fixed on Shippo, Mito questioned, "What is it? Is it a demon?" Similar questions were asked by the other residents of Konoha. Shippo yelled at her, "I'm a kitsune. What is it to you?" As Minato pulled out his tri-pronged kunai and Kushina pulled out her sword, she yelled, "Kitsune? Like the nine tails. We need to kill it." Naruto leapt directly in front of Shippo, his heaven blade piercing the earth in all its splendor. When Naruto said, "Touch my brother and I'll kill you," it was deadly. She was drawn by Sango as Hirikatsu. Some ice senbons were drawn by Haku. Yagura prepared his staff. Kushina yelled at Naruto, "What are you doing? We have to kill that demon before it kills us." All he did was squint at her. As gold wires emerged from the ground, Naruto retorted, "By that logic, I should kill you and Mito. Unlike Shippo, you two have killed people and have demon power." "Enough. Kushina, Minato, you have no right to take the life away from someone of another village. What you're doing is a disgrace to the village." Hiruzen yelled with rage. He saw no reason to kill Shippo, unlike them. Despite his strange features, Hiruzen realized he posed no threat to anyone. He uttered the words, "Maybe Orochimaru would have been a better choice than you." With fatigue, it made Minato wince. "I think it would be best that we give everyone time to let everything sink in." Tsunade made the suggestion. "It's all been a huge mess." As he led his team out of the room, Yagura said, "Agreed," getting out of Konoha. As she pursued the team away from Kiri, Kuretsuchi yelled, "Hey, wait up for me, I'm not done with you." Naruto responded with a shout, "Well, I'm done with you." She replied, "Hey," and carried on the pursuit. The ramen stand of Ichiraku, Kuretsuchi attempted to pursue him after he left the Forest of Death. After losing him in the forest, she gave up. She couldn't keep up with Naruto's speed. Whether or not she proposed an alliance, she wanted to see if she could convince him to marry her. Observing that the Konoha proposal is probably going to be cancelled, Sango, Haku, Shippo, Kurara, and Naruto all went to the one location he genuinely adores. Naruto and his companions stood outside the planet's holiest site, saying, "Man, it's been a long time since I've been here." Sango said wearily, "I swear that you care for ramen more than life." Naruto shot back, "That's debatable." Shippo said, "That's sad." It was a little unsettling to see someone like Naruto appreciate ramen in this way. "Ramen is the food of the gods," Naruto exclaimed, gesturing to Shippo as though he had just uttered a blasphemous statement. "Who is making all this noise out here?" exclaimed an elderly man as he emerged from the platform, only to discover a bunch of children. Naruto turned to look at him. The elderly man's first impression was of a young man with red hair and whiskers. Naruto. With a warm wave, Naruto said, "Hey old man, long time no see." The proprietor of Ichiraku's Ramen and the father of Ayame, the waitress, exclaimed, "Naruto. You're alive. Ayame. Come out here, we have a special guest." Ayame shouted back from the rear of the stand, "I have dishes to wash. Whoever it is, it can wait." Tucci confidently said, "Trust me." As she gave in to her father's request and came out, she said, "Fine. Naruto?" Naruto exclaimed joyfully, "Hey Ayame. Ni-chan. Long time no see." Naruto. She immediately jumped in for a hug. "I miss you so much." He said, "I miss you too. Well, what are you standing out here for? Come in. You can tell us all about what happened." Ayame replied with a smile. "It's on the house, my boy," Tucci grinned. With joy, Naruto exclaims, "Yada, free ramen, into the air." Ichiraku's ramen was a hit with the group. Sango had to concede that it was excellent, and even Shippo thought it was fantastic. When he first tried Ichiraku's ramen, the group finally realized why he loves it so much. The Uchiha come to see Naruto after 5 bowls. Itachi, Izumi, and Mikoto were delighted to see Naruto back in town and chowing down on ramen. They listened to his story and joined in the feast. Ayame and Izumi were giving Shippo as much cuddles as they could. They couldn't let him go because they thought he was so cute. They didn't mind if he was a demon because he was adorable. One person, though, was absent. Because he had to deal with Minato and Jiraiya and make sure they didn't do anything stupid, Hiruzen was unable to attend the reunion. A month later, Stadium, the month. Long period of rest and training is over. It was advised that those who advanced past the preliminary round prepare for the finals. With the exception of the Kiri team, many of the competitors trained all month long. Their training was minimal. They could already be regarded as junins due to their strength. Furthermore, Naruto and Sango were essentially independent contractors. They performed their duties as paid, and the team as a whole planned to retire as official shinobi and embark on a global tour. Naruto and his friends spent the entire month visiting with relatives and old friends. This included the Sarutobi clan and the rest of the Uchiha clan, excluding Sasuke. Naruto told them about his travels across the nations. Naturally, he concealed some information, but fortunately, they didn't ask questions. Hearing his story and seeing his power in action is something that Konohamaru and his friends adore. Naruto demonstrated a lot of his dragon Slayer abilities and element eating skills. Shippo and Kurara were enjoying the company of Mikoto and Izumi. Itachi and Hiruzen were cautioned by Naruto about the perils of his world. Itachi and Hiruzen were aware of Konoha's treatment of Naruto because of the demon soul that was sealed inside of him. When faced with actual demons, many people would freak out. The decision was made to conceal it and keep them unaware of the deadly demons. Naruto was disliked by Sasuke. His power was the main source of his jealousy. He insisted on being trained by Naruto in order to acquire the ability to murder Shisui, but Naruto refused, stating that it is impossible to think of another person without blood ties. That was obviously a lie. In actuality, only a dragon can teach a human the secret art of Dragon Slayer magic, and only a fully trained Dragon Slayer can teach others. Despite his strength, Naruto is not a master. Being able to change into a dragon and back again is a sign of a Dragon Slayer master. Few people have transformed and are able to do so again. Naruto refused to take the chance. Not yet. After that, Sasuke went to study under Kakashi in order to get ready for the finals and his encounter with Naruto. In addition to catching up, Naruto took Sango on a few dates, because he wanted to show him where he was born and give him an opportunity to have fun. Everyone else believed it to be a date, but he didn't. Finally, there has been a rise in disappearances among Konoha's Anbu members. Since Minato sent numerous people to send for Naruto and none of them returned, he told the entire division that it was a cover. Because of the large number of foreigners and the lack of evidence or bodies, Minato was powerless to harm Naruto or the Kiri team. All of this was done behind his back because he was not permitted to send any shinobi to retrieve a foreign shinobi. He then attempted to address Naruto directly, but he would only ignore him. Since speaking with another Kage would be interpreted by foreign shinobi as betraying them, Naruto was under no obligation to do so. Minato would consistently attempt, but fail, to take him to a more private location. Naruto would advise speaking in front of everyone, which would damage his reputation. Kushina was progressing nicely. Minato and his Anbu prevented her from approaching Naruto. He was aware that Kushina would confront Naruto and divulge his sinister secrets. He wouldn't have it, though. To put him in his proper place, Mito only practices hard with her father and occasionally her mother. Since all 5 of the great hidden villages came together for the first time, this year's chunin exam was particularly noteworthy. Meitarumi was the Mizukage, Ayatsuki was the Reikage, Onoki was the Tsuchikage, and Rasa was the Kage. It was unheard of for the 5 Kage to get together for the chunin exam, and Konoha needed to behave themselves well to avoid damaging their reputation. Kuretsuchi has already told her grandfather Onoki about the Hokage's deceit and has cancelled the proposal right away. Likewise, he concurred with her granddaughter that an ally who lies is not a good ally. Minato made every effort to renegotiate with Onoki, but he was unsuccessful. We now proceed to the Konoha Stadium. All of the Kages and nobles from all over the country have assembled on this day of the finals. Based on the performances of their new generation, it was time to determine which village should be hired more frequently, which village should be promoted, and which village was stronger. Naturally, the Kiri team would retire and resume their travels after this day. Mei permitted Haku to accompany them after being notified of their choice. The arena was packed. Mito, Neji, Tamari, Samui, Gaara, Shino, Kankuro, Sango, Kuretsuchi, Naruto, Haku, and Sasuke. Dosu vanished inexplicably a few days ago. The finals were proctored by Itachi. He had to keep an eye on them and signal the end of the match. He was also accountable for intervening and stopping it if necessary. In their booth, the 5 Kage were prepared to evaluate the shinobis. The Reikage, asked his opponent, Hokage. Dono, who do you believe that would win this exam? He smiled reassuringly and said, I have faith in my own genins. Only to receive a little chuckle. Their guard and the other Kages turned to the laughter. It was the Mizukage Meitarumi. You think otherwise, Mizukage, Dono? I responds. Of course. My shinobi are going to win this year. Every member from my country are in the finals. That's more than either of yours. Mei responded. Only to hear Onoki grunt. I have to agree with the Mizukage. Only a single shinobi from my and yours, Reikage, made it to the finals. The rest are filled with Konoha, Suna, and Kiri. Onoki responded. Mei's smile widened slightly. Don't get cheeky, brat. That doesn't mean that your village is stronger. This only means that your youngster had experience from the Civil War. Minato remarked, that reminds me. To gather information, Minato asked Mei, why is Yugura still alive? Isn't he the one that plunged your home into war? The greatest mystery since the end of the war was this one. They were baffled as to why, in light of Yugura's crimes, they would spare him. Mei replied, sorry, but is something I can't reveal. Looks like everyone has gathered. It's time to start the exam. You're correct, Minato remarked. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get his answers. He then gives Itachi the signal to begin the test. Arena, welcome to the final part of the chunin exam. My name is Itachi Uchiha and I'll be the proctor for the exam. My word is law. If I say that a match is over, then it's over. I expect you to listen to me or I'll disqualify you. The finals will be held in the same format as the preliminaries, with a one-on-one match. The winner of each match will move on to the next round while the loser will be eliminated. However, even if you are eliminated in the first round, you'll still have a chance at promotion, but of course even if you win, you could still be left as a genin. Itachi announces to the crowd. The genin gave his decision a nod. The women were applauding Itachi as he explained the rules, saying, but the more matches you fight in, more the chances you will have to show off your skills. He was well known throughout the countries as a formidable shinobi and one of the few Uchiha. As Naruto and Sasuke face off, the genin began to head to the stands to watch the match. The first rounds will be Naruto Pendragon of Kiri against Sasuke Uchiha of Konoha. What? The demon brat is alive. I hope that Uchiha Sama finish him off. You better die, demon. Many Konoha residents were in the crowd, and they yelled. Many people still despise Naruto for trivial reasons. The way Konoha behaved did not appear to please many of the daimyo. Minato saw their appearance and realized that the daimyo would lose their jobs as a result of his allowing the citizen to behave in public. Uchiha Sama, Uchiha Sama, the Konoha crowd began chanting. With a huge smug smile, Sasuke said, hear that, Dobi, the crowd is on my side. They're saying Uchiha. They don't care about you, only your blood, replied Naruto. Sasuke declares, it doesn't matter. I'm going to kill you. Konoha applauds, while the rest of the Uchiha clan looks on in disappointment. Izumi yelled, kick that idiot's ass, Naruto. Show him what power really is, Shippo exclaimed. Itachi said, you two ready? To the pair. Sasuke looked angry at Naruto for taking this seriously, while Naruto simply kept his hands in his jacket and didn't give a damn. Then he yelled, begin, and leapt from the arena. Sasuke began by hurling a number of shuriken at him. To get between the gaps, Naruto only turns to his side. The only thing that seems to enrage Sasuke is the way he dodges his volley. Then he charged at him and began a taijutsu battle. Stop dodging, Dobi, yelled Sasuke angrily. With his hands in his pockets, Naruto was avoiding all of his attacks. Sasuke was unable to deliver a single blow during the several minutes that this continued. The worst thing for Sasuke was that Naruto said nothing to him and just grinned smugly. This only made him more enraged. In an attempt to help Sasuke, the crowd began tossing trash at Naruto, but they were unsuccessful and struck Sasuke instead. Stands. How is this possible? Sasuke-kun should beat the loser. Sakura yelled as she attempted to hurl trash at Naruto. Only to strike Sasuke. She stopped when he shot her a furious glance. The Uchiha is only a genin. He hasn't even killed anyone and never fought in a real battlefield, Sango replied. Sakura angrily told Sango, that demon shouldn't be here, he should be put down. If this is how Kunoichi from Konoha act, I fear that you won't survive on your first C-rank mission solo. Hiku said, as she cries for her Sasuke-kun. To save her, she can already picture herself being raped by a gang of bandits. You're telling me. I expected more from the strongest village, but it seems that it's all talk and no bite. Samui continued. Only to be ignored while receiving a glare from Sakura, Mito, and Ino. She said, I'm Samui by the way. As she offered to help the Kiri team. They were strong, she could tell. They gave her a handshake. I'm Sango. I'm Hikuyuki. They ignored the Konoha girls and began talking to each other for the remainder of the match. A redhead watching Naruto's match at the far end of the stands was beaming maniacally. Arena, weak, was Naruto's icy statement. After that, he kicked Sasuke against the wall, forming a sizable crater. While some Konoha residents began to cheer, many others began to gasp in horror. I'm glad to see the stylish redhead getting into a fight. Sasuke began to cough up copious amounts of blood. How does he have this much power? That power ought to belong to me, Sasuke yelled in his head. Naruto played him the entire time. He failed to get a single hit on him at all. He then leapt up to the wall and got ready to perform a jutsu he had learned. I'll use that jutsu to end it. Stands. When Guy noticed the hand signals Sasuke was making, his eyes widened. You taught him that jutsu? He yelled at his opponent, Kakashi, in shock. Kakashi remarked casually, yes. He needed an edge to win. After watching his match with Omoi, he realized that Naruto was already better than him, so he believed he had a clear path to victory. Arena. Sasuke's hand began to generate electricity and gradually started to chirp. The veteran shinobi was shocked to see Sasuke using this sound, which they recognized from the war. Wow, that's lightning, Naruto thought. Then he began using Lightning Dragon Slayer magic to charge up his body. Immediately, yellow lightning engulfed his body. Naruto was surrounded by a lot of lightning, and the force of the lightning caused the ground to tremble. This shocked a number of Kumo residents and surprised many shinobi. Cage booth. The Raikage, screamed, what the hell? How does he know my jutsu? As he broke the armrest of his chair. Mei was shocked, as were the other cages. They believed that Ai's father owned the lightning release armor, an S-rank jutsu that he had mastered on his own. Only, Rasa, was able to watch the game with great interest. He would make a fantastic body if it weren't for the soul of the Kyuubi. Arena. In order to execute Chidori, Sasuke finished collecting enough lightning chakra in his palm. Then, with a tremendous amount of speed for a genin, he plunged his hand into the wall or ground and began charging at Naruto. While waiting for Sasuke to approach him, Naruto's body was still covered in lightning. Since lightning chakra is blue rather than yellow, many shinobi mistook Naruto for him and wondered if it was inherited while watching the match. With all of his hatred, Sasuke roared, "Ah!" as he charged at Naruto. It ended as soon as he entered Naruto's personal space for his fight. Boom! A cloud of dust formed between them. Everyone was shocked by the scene after a brief period of time to process it. With one hand out of his pocket, Naruto was still standing. He already swung it into a fist and struck Sasuke in the head. Sasuke had a big bump on his head and was unconscious on the ground. Naruto appears to be as unconcerned about the circumstances as ever. One. Ha 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 ha. Oh my god, one hit and he knockout. That's priceless. All that build up to end like that. What a loser. Sasuke was being laughed at by many. The majority of Konoha were shocked to see their Uchiha defeated in this manner, while the majority of those outside of Konoha were laughing. Sasuke was preparing a potent A-rank assassination jutsu when he was struck in the head and knocked unconscious. While everyone watched Naruto demonstrate his extensive use of lightning magic. Because of the shaking that Naruto was able to induce, he demonstrated that he possessed my lightning power. Itachi declares, winner, Naruto Pendragon, he called out, medic, to come get his stupid younger brother. Naruto approaches his friends in the stands. They took a brief break following the game because of it. Because Naruto won, the majority of people were whining about the match. All of the complaints regarding Naruto's use of the lightning ability came from Konoha residents, with a small number coming from Kumo. His friends applaud him for an easy victory from the stands. Samui asked him about the alleged lightning release armor he wore, but he didn't provide any concrete answers. A number of shinobi from a different village approached Naruto to offer their congratulations on the victory. B was already speaking to Naruto, so I stayed in the cage booth even though he was considering going to the stands to beat the information out of him. The matches that followed weren't as entertaining as Naruto's. After that, Mito and Neji faced off in a match that ultimately pitted the Hyuga's taijutsu against Mito's water jutsu and her kenjutsu. Neji eventually went against the kenjutsu that her mother had taught her after defeating a number of her B rank and C rank. Although Mito was declared the winner of the match, she was not unharmed. The match between Temari and Samui was more captivating. It was a jutsu and wits match. Both were adept at hiding their weaknesses and had a strong elemental affinity. Samui was a lightning user who liked close quarters, while Temari was a wind user who liked long range. Strangely, Temari preferred long range, even though wind typically outperforms lightning and wind users are typically close to mid-range fighters. After numerous attempts to use jutsu to attack one another, they were unable to continue fighting, so it ended in a draw. Haku was supposed to be Gaara's opponent in the upcoming match between him and Dosu, but Dosu did not show up. The round against Gaara was forfeited by her. She didn't want to challenge a Jinchuriki because she was aware of her strength. You should not take any Jinchuriki lightly because they are all dangerous. Similar to how the match with Gaara ended, so did the match between Kankuro and Shino. Shino was able to move on after Kankuro forfeited. The fact that the last 2 games ended in forfeits began to annoy a lot of people. Itachi announces the next match, Sango of Kiri vs Kuretsuchi of Iwa. The 2 young ladies made their way to the arena. Ready. Begin! The 2 girls exclaimed as they went down, and they immediately attacked one another. He began by engaging in a taijutsu battle. In a deadlock arm block, Kuretsuchi remarked, "You're strong." Sango was stronger than Kuretsuchi, but Kuretsuchi had more style. Sango was trained as a demon slayer, so her attacks were designed to deal quick damage to powerful demons, while Kuretsuchi was trained as a shinobi. Sango answered, "You're not bad yourself." They both leapt back and made a number of hand signals. To restrain Sango, Kuretsuchi spat out multiple quicklime balls at her from her mouth, saying, "Lava style. Quicklime congealing jutsu." Sango leapt to the sky. She exclaimed, "Wind style. Great breakthrough, far beyond Kuretsuchi's reach." Kuretsuchi remarked, "I can see why he likes you, but I'll make him mine." Few knew what she was talking about. Only Onoki, Haku, Sango, Shippo, the honorable Uchihas, and Kurara were present. The fact that Kuretsuchi was in love with himself was still unknown to Naruto. Ignoring her taunt, Sango proceeded to throw multiple fire jutsu at her. Kuretsuchi's lava jutsu countered every one of her fire attacks. Using high-level jutsu for their age, the match demonstrated that both girls were strong and had excellent chakra control to last this long. After the test, Onoki knew she deserved to be chunin, and many were impressed. They were facing each other on the other side of the arena and were both exhausted. Boom. Boom. A conflagration broke out between the 2 girls. The center of the arena was covered in a thick layer of smoke. The girls appear surprised, but Itachi quickly got ready since he knew someone was now interfering. Shit, was Naruto's word. He was aware of what was happening. The noses of dragon slayers are far more sensitive than those of most animals and people. Demon. He pondered. Naruto instantly reached for his sword, ready to draw it, and Shippo approached Kurara, saying, "Shippo, something is going to happen." From the smoke, someone asked, "Is it okay if I join?" There was Amon, in a white baboon skin after the smoke had cleared. Everyone was caught off guard by what happened next. Numerous golden threads emerged from the earth and began to twist around the newcomer, catching him. Kuretsuchi cried, "What the hell is going on?" Many others were wondering the same thing as her. With his sword poised to cut the man's throat, Naruto emerged from behind him. Naruto said icily, "What are you doing here, demon?" He was well aware that a large human settlement like Konoha would not be attacked by demons without a valid reason. "My oh my, it seems that the son of Bahamut is impatient. Haven't your father taught you better?" asked the man. When Minato heard this, she flinched. Although he had no idea who Naruto thought of as his father, he now had a name to search for. Naruto responded, "I'm a dragon slayer. We don't like to wait around." At that moment, Kurara leaps down with Shippo on her back as Sango grabs her Hirikatsu. They needed to be prepared because things were going to happen. Itachi inquired, "What's going on here?" but was disregarded. This man could easily enter the village and go unnoticed until it was too late, which made the cage nervous. "Who are you?" inquired Naruto. The monk laughed. He answered, and everyone in the arena heard. "I'm Naraku, Naruto Pendragon, son of a dragon god." All Naruto did was narrow his eyes. Naruto is a demon child, not a god's son, according to many Konoha residents. That response made Jiraiya and Minato freeze. In their minds, it rang a bell. Then Naraku turned to face Sango. So a demon slayer survived. "It was you!" yelled Sango angrily. Naruto started cutting Naraku by pressing his blade against him. Nevertheless, the tiny wound was not leaking blood. "Ha ha ha. Yes, I sent that demon horde to kill your village and came out with a nice gift. In a form of a little boy." Naraku laughed. For her and Naruto, that was the final straw. Naruto tears him to pieces with his steel threads. Though Naruto knew better, he might have done it as a result of the emotional strain he was putting on. The steel wire sliced through Naraku, shocking many with the gold thread's strength. Sango was holding on to Hirikatsu tightly due to the news that they were going to hear. At that moment, Naraku's head began to float. Naruto jumped to Sango's side and said, "A puppet. I knew it." It seems that the Dragon Slayer is more dangerous than I thought. Where's my brother? His head dropped abruptly after he said, "You'll see him eventually. For now, I'm here for one thing. That's to declare war on humanity." But Naruto and Sango sensed a presence. A very powerful one, of demons. The village was on the verge of being overrun by a demon army. All of the approaching demons were odorous to Naruto. "Shit. It's an army. Sango, we have to deal with them," he yelled. When Naruto said this, many people became alarmed. The news of her younger brother had left Sango speechless. Then Naruto gave her a slap. "Sango. We will get Kohaku back, but we need to deal with the demon army coming here." Alright. Kurara's transformation followed. Shocking and frightening a lot of people, Sango and Naruto attacked her. Naruto yelled, "We'll see you back in Kiri. An army is attacking," as they took off. Feathers began to appear back in the stadium, putting many people to sleep. Then there was an explosion in the cage booth. Rasa remarked, "Coo. It seems like this will help me." It was him who set off the explosion. Rasa was on one side of the roof, while the other 5 Kage were on the other. I demanded, "What are you doing, Kage?" Mei and Rasa are closely observed by Onoki. "We have an alliance, Kage. Don't tell me you're betraying us?" replied Minato. The Kage then reached for his face and removed the skin, revealing his true self. The 4 Kages all exclaimed, "Orochimaru," simultaneously. Because of all the experiments he conducted on their citizens, the man was sought after by every nation. Coo. It seems that this Naraku fellow that Naruto-kun knows is helping me, Orochimaru replied. He also sensed a strange and sizable presence nearby. His suspicions are only confirmed by Naruto's words. With laughter, he declared, "I'm here to destroy Konoha." Many shinobi from Suna and Sound began attacking when a huge 3-headed snake tore down the wall in Konoha. Orochimaru and Naraku have declared war.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.